to finance that new car with rates as low as 4.25% APR and up to 90 days with no payment. You can drive what you love and keep some money in your pocket. Visit State Credit Union's website for details and to find a location near you. SCSCU.com. Visit one of State Credit Union's 8 Midlands branches today. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Listen, it is not too late to stop this. Do not do this. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's damn near perfect. It's beautiful as it is. Stop trying to fix what ain't broke. And stop telling me that the tournament isn't the tournament unless the 15th place team in the SEC gets in. Stop jerking with the best event in all of sports, you pigs.
The Jim Rome Show podcast.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Want to unlock the power of athlete marketing to grow your business? Garnet Trust has recently launched a business membership program, making it easier than ever for your business to work directly with a USC student athlete. Visit garnettrust.com today or call 803-250-1765 to see your business boom.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Traffic weather for your ride in on this Friday morning. As of right now, not seeing anything major on the roadways. Hopefully it stays that way as we go through the rest of your Friday morning. Quick peek at the weather. Going to be nice and warm today, high of 79, 86 tomorrow, and 89 on Sunday. There's traffic and weather for your Friday on the Game.
Text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network and on 107.5, the Game app.
Run that back turbo, that back turbo, that back turbo.
Oh, 9 o'clock on your Friday morning. Welcome in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head along with you, Jack Veltri on location in Nashville. As unfortunately last night Gamecock baseball does fall to the Vanderbilt Commodores. We will get to all the details of that coming up in just a minute. But most importantly, Jack, how are we doing this morning?
Not too bad, man. The time adjustment is it's not too bad. Honestly, it's 8 o'clock in the morning here, and I woke up probably at like 7:30. So that felt a little weird, but we're doing good, man. Nice day here in Nashville so far. It's nice and sunny outside. The weather should be a lot warmer this weekend, the rest of the way, but yeah, not too bad so far. How about you?
I'm doing well. Like I said, there was no traffic this morning, so that's nice. Friday night SmackDown tonight over at Kona Life Arena, so it should be a fun start to the weekend. I'm going. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm interested to see what it's going to be like when Trick comes out, right? Homecoming for him. Had him on the show the other day. That was a lot of fun, and I imagine the roof's going to come off that place when he makes his entrance.
So is it a one-day thing or is it 2 days?
It's 1 day, yeah. So the weekly shows are just Mondays and Fridays, and there are certain what they call premium live events like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble. Those can be multiple day events, but those are special events, not weekly television.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, professional wrestling is like a traveling circus where they're in a town for a day and then on to another one a couple days later.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, so that's fun. What's the vibe in Nashville from the last time you were there, 2 months ago for the SEC tournament?
Well, the season is coming to a close for this sport, too. It's not great, I'd say, but as we'll get into, it was not really a great game last night, and that was it. So I have not done anything really in Nashville yet. I got into town yesterday afternoon and laid down for like 45 minutes and then went over to the ballpark, watched a relatively bad baseball game. But that's what I expect at this point. I'm here to work, but like, you know, I'm also going to try to enjoy the weekend here, even though I'm not going I'm not going to Broadway or anything. Like that's not happening. Like I just don't. That's not my vibe right now anymore. So
have you been to like the Grand Ole Opry or anything like that?
I have not. That's like one thing. I've been to Nashville a few times. I really haven't gotten a chance to like explore like the city. So, you know, I'm staying out by the airport. I may, if I'm gonna do it any day, today would be the day. We'll see. I'm not sure honestly what my plans are, but yeah. We'll see. I have most of the day to really figure out what I want.
I was going to say, I think I stayed at the exact hotel that you're staying at when we went there last year. The Opry's not that far. There's like it's right across the street from a mall. So there's that. There's a wax museum over there. There's a lot of cool stuff to do in that area if you don't want to have like go downtown to Broadway and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm staying out near an airport. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's not a ton out here that I see, but we'll see.
Well, hopefully you can find something to enjoy yourself with, because last night was not fun at all, and we'll get into that right after our Sandstorm Pick Me Up.
Time to get hyped. Here's your 9 a.m. Sandstorm, sponsored by George Sink Injury Lawyers. Just call all nines.
It is time for your 9 a.m. Sandstorm Pick Me Up, brought to you by South Carolina's largest injury law firm, George Sink Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in the car or at work, call George Sink now at 803 all nines.
But, I will say this. I thought tonight it felt like, at least for 9 innings, our guys played. We didn't play great by any means, but our guys played. And I felt like we were competing even at the end of the game. And some of the at-bats fouled some pitches off, fought a little bit, at the plate, just didn't have anything to show for it. But I thought overall we were more competitive, even though, scoreboard wouldn't indicate that. I didn't see as bad body language, those kind of things. I thought the guys were upbeat and kept playing.
Monty Lee last night, after Carolina falls 9-1 to Vanderbilt in game number 1 of the final series of the regular season, saying at least they played with better effort and better energy, and that was about the only positive of last night. 4 hits, 11 strikeouts on offense. Starter did not make it out of the second inning. Jack, you could take those exact 3 things that I said and apply that to a lot of games this season, especially recently, and that was the story once again last night.
Yeah, not a ton of good last night. That was a rough game. All right, let's get the offense out of the way because it's quick and simple. The offense is just not good this year by any stretch of the imagination. The at-bats just have not been good at all. Just so many swings and misses at just absolute junk. Like, I remember it was the bases loaded and 1 out. And I'm like talking to, it's funny, one of our former interns at Central now covers Vanderbilt. So I got to see him last night. That was probably the only positive from that game. So I'm talking to him and I'm like, all right, here we go. Bases loaded, 7th inning. They're not scoring a single run here. I'm going to tell you exactly what happens. Will Craddock, he's going to strike out on a pitch way out of the zone. And what happens? He strikes out on a pitch way out of the zone. It has just become so predictable with what is going to happen at the plate that the at-bats are just not getting it done. Like Luke Uhas, Will Craddock, they've had some good moments this year, but man, for the most part, like some of the at-bats have just been really, really bad. And yeah, in those situations, you're just not coming through, with those guys up at the plate when you have a big spot in a big inning. And credit to Vanderbilt's starter. He was really good last night, but the offense with 4 hits, that's just not getting the job done. Pitching-wise, we knew that Amp and Stone were going to be on pitch counts last night, really short ones at that. But I think things were already getting away from Amp in that second inning to where he wasn't going to last much longer anyway. So, I mean, it was another rough outing for him. Not what you want. It's been like this for the past 5 outings since the Missouri series. I really don't know what's happened other than just leaving a lot of pitches in the zone. But he has not pitched like himself at all. Stone was pretty good last night, I'd say. But, Patrick Evans making that error at second base didn't help him. I will say the only real positive from last night was that, again, this weekend for me, the goal in my mind is to get a lot of guys in pitching-wise that just have not pitched well or haven't pitched much at all this year, and you did that. Parker Marlott went in there through 2 scoreless innings last night. And then Josh Gunther, who is probably one of the biggest defenders when it comes to going through major struggles this year, because, again, he was South Carolina's Friday night guy at the start of SEC play and has kind of been resorted to being like a garbage time innings eater.
Yeah.
He pitched 2 innings of 1-run ball last night and looked the best he has in forever. So that's a good sign right there.
Do you almost feel like the Friday night role for this team's been cursed this year? Because Jake McCoy gets injured before the season starts. Riley Goodman can't, get any semblance of momentum when he gets the ball on Friday night. Josh Gunther, outside of, the really good outing against Clemson and then Florida the next week, he falls off. Ant Phillips has fallen off a cliff. Like, they just have not been able to find anybody to solidify that Friday night role, which if you can't find an ace on staff, usually that means the rest of your staff's not that great either.
And that's the thing. Like, Stone and Phillips have typically been pretty good for Carolina, but the last month or so has just really not been good. And you got Alex Valentine going tonight. I'm not expecting much better. Most maybe like, again, he'll be on a pitch count too, I'm sure, to have him preserved for whenever you need him. But it's just the rotation is kind of falling off here, and that does concern me a lot going into Hoover, because that's really like a bad outing puts them behind the 8 ball. They're going to go 1 and done because this offense cannot score runs consistently. You just can't trust them to do so. And defensively, they weren't great last night. So just an all-around rough night. And, now you've lost 10 straight games, something that hasn't happened since 1961.
What was that? What was the record that team in 1961 got to, by the way?
So they ended up, depending on how you look at it, in the single season, 15 straight losses is the program record.
Okay.
And South Carolina should not be getting to that. They should be getting to 14 at most.
That wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, maybe 13. But you look at 61, they lost the first 3 games of 62. So technically, it's an 18-game losing streak, but in a single year, it's 15. So depending on how you want to take that.
For the sake of whoever the next head coach is going to be, and we'll get into our latest matchup coming up here in just a minute, I really hope if this losing streak does continue throughout the regular season, we're not starting off next year talking about getting swept by some mid-major in the opening weekend.
I have a feeling this losing streak is not going to end anytime soon. 3 games to go. I could easily see South Carolina losing all 3. It's just, I think everyone's just ready for this season to be over, myself included. I'm there. I enjoy covering baseball at South Carolina, but man, this team is just very. They're just not fun to watch, man. It's just as simple as that. You just kind of go into a game knowing like, okay, this probably isn't going to go well. So that's kind of where things are at.
There was some history made last night, though. That was the 1,100th career win for Tim Corbin. He's now 6 wins away from 1,000 alone at Vanderbilt. So at least somebody in the building last night did do something of accomplishment.
Yeah, and Vandy looked good last night. That they have been going through a tough season, and I do wonder what's going to happen here with them in the postseason. I think at this point, if they can go out here and sweep and then maybe you got to make a deep run in the SEC tournament, I think, to improve that RPI. That's really what's going to kill them in the end, is that the RPI just is not good enough. And I'll take a quick look at seeing where it's at right now. But, I mean, look, could they get to 14 wins after this weekend? Yes, absolutely. But the problem is they're 72nd in RPI right now, and that's not going to get it done. So they really need to make a significant jump over the next week here, or otherwise they are going to be at home just like South Carolina is.
Yeah, I think they were talking about the broadcast last night. And if you sweep South Carolina, not that does really anything for your resume, but it gives you something. At least gets you to what I think that get them to maybe 14 wins in conference play. I forget what their record was, going into last night.
Maybe 14 and 16.
Okay,
which typically that's enough.
Right.
But the problem is, again, the RPI matters so much when making these decisions that there are just so many better teams you could put in over Vanderbilt.
If you got to 14 conference wins by beating South Carolina in all 3 games this weekend, and you made it to Saturday next week, the semifinals, that'd probably be enough?
Yeah, I think so. Making it to the semis, or if you make it to the championship, I think you're for sure probably getting in. but we'll see. I mean, you're talking about a 40-spot potential jump you need to make with the RPI, and that might be a tall order, depending on who you play.
Well, game number 2 coming up tonight, same time for the first pitch, 7 o'clock. Pregame coverage starting at 6:45 right here on 107.5. The game. We'll hit our latest head coaching head-to-head. Dan Fitzgerald versus Tom Walter coming up next. It is The Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri on your Friday here on The Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Since that win at Clemson by the Gamecocks, things haven't gone well. And when things don't go well, it's time to look back on the days when things were well. Yeah, let's spin back to the good old days on the Game Network.
Line drive, right field, base hit. South Carolina wins the College World Series.
Sellers in the pocket. Up in the pocket, gonna run inside the 20, 10. Lenore Sellers going left side, 5. Touchdown, Carolina. Touchdown. Touchdown, Lenore Sellers. From 20 yards out, the Gamecocks take the lead at Death Valley.
Now that's some good feels right there. From 107.5 The Game and the Game Network. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Tyrod here for our friends over at Twin Peaks. Another exciting weekend ahead, full of tons of playoff action in in basketball and in hockey. Major League Baseball in full swing, and we're wrapping up the college baseball regular season and getting the tournament started when it comes to college softball as well. And there's only one place to take in all this amazing sports action. You know what it is. It's our friends over at Twin Peaks, located right down the street from us here in the Vista at 600 Gervais Street. Get down there, grab yourself a bar stool, order some delicious scratch-made food, and don't forget about those 29-degree draft beers to wash it all down and take in whatever interest you this weekend on a beautiful, beautiful weekend here in the Midlands with our friends over at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Columbia, make this spring the time you stop painting year after year and do what Greg did. He called Rhino Shield.
We live in a beautiful two-story home that was built in 1916. Really been prepped and painted very, very poorly.
And Rhino Shield? It's not paint, it's better.
We really had a lot of detail work in the team at Rhino Shield. They spent really a full 4 days just on the prep work, and we were so excited to see that.
Stop painting year after year and get Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
We've gotten numerous compliments, and we've actually even had some of the longer-term residents of our community thank us for protecting the integrity of our home.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer is limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
BOGO is back at iMart Express.
Come on. Okay.
Right now, for a limited time only, new customers can buy their first pair of glasses and get a second pair free. Plus, with eye exams available and same-day glasses, you'll never miss a moment. It's the kind of savings and service you can really get used to.
Okay.
Find a location near you at imartexpress.com to shop our BOGO event today and see everything we have in store for you. iMart Express. Get glasses. Go see.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
Extra Point with Tyler Head and Jack Veltri from Gamecock Central on the Game Network and the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri along with you here on your Friday on the Game. Moving one day closer to figuring out who South Carolina's next head baseball coach is going to be, and that brings us to another round of our head coaching search. Head-to-head, Dan Fitzgerald has been doing pretty good these past couple days. He's eliminated our past couple of competitors, but boy, does he have a pretty tough challenge today as we bring to the table Tom Walter, current head coach at Wake Forest, somebody that was pretty high on the list seemingly a couple years ago after Mark Kingston got fired. Of course, Palmineri ends up getting hired, but sounds like that interest there once again.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see. I don't know about this. You know, again, when I put him on the list at the time, it was just because he had been a guy that, you know, South Carolina had looked at in the past. I haven't really heard his name as like a potential option, quite honestly, compared to like a Fitzgerald. Obviously, that's been reported out there as a potential candidate. So I don't know about this one, but still, it's worth exploring the option just because it's another name that we are familiar with because he has been involved in, I guess it'd be the last 2 coaching searches here at South Carolina.
Yeah, and look, he's got a very impressive resume. For one, Wake Forest has a prowess when it comes to pitching, right? That's what they're known for. Josh Gunther obviously came over from Wake Forest this past offseason, so he's somebody that can seemingly come in and really help fix this pitching staff, which has been a problem these past couple seasons. Of course, his reputation as a coach consistently in the postseason these past couple years. Had a College World Series trip a few years ago. They're projected as a number 2 seed right now in Mississippi State's regional per Baseball America, so going to be in the postseason once again, and a very consistent team, always being in that mix every single year these past handful of years.
He's done a great job at Wake Forest for the most part. I would say there were, you know, some down years in there. Obviously, Wake Forest at the time was not very good at baseball. Go back to 2010, his first season on the job out there in where's Wake Forest? I'm trying to remember.
They are in. Is it? It's not. Is it Winston-Salem? I think it's Winston-Salem.
I think it is Winston-Salem. I was trying to remember. I don't know why I forgot that for a second. But anyway, 18-37 and 8-22 in conference play in 2010. That was his first season there. He didn't have a 500 record or better until 2012, and he hadn't made the postseason until 2016. So if there's anyone that kind of knows what it's like to go through like a real rebuild, like we give Dan Fitzgerald a lot of credit for leading Kansas through a little bit of going from real bad to really good now. Tom Walter's kind of done that. Now, the thing that I think goes against him is there's been a little bit of inconsistency. Made the postseason in 2016 and 17, missed the postseason in 2018 and 19. Obviously, the COVID season happened, but Wake Forest wasn't really going anywhere that season. They missed the tournament again in 21, and then they get back to it the last 4 years. And they got to the College World Series in 2023, something that hadn't happened since the 50s. So he's done a pretty good job there. The last 2 years, he's only made it to a regional, but there's no doubt he's taken Wake Forest to heights that they just have not reached in really a long time.
Well, I think it's worth pointing out that since we've had the NIL era in college baseball, now that wouldn't have been in the 21 season because NIL didn't go live until summer of 2021. So 2022 and beyond, he has made the postseason every single year, including that College World Series trip back in 2023. So they've been the most consistent in this newer era of college baseball. So he seems to be doing something right there. Now, I wasn't able to find any specific numbers on what Wake Forest spends in terms of their roster and stuff like that. I can't imagine it's more than what a team like South Carolina would spend. So I feel like he's doing more with seemingly less at Wake Forest, consistently making the postseason.
Definitely less. Definitely less. In an ACC school that is, historically speaking, like, you know, has not been very good at baseball, besides, like, I mean, yes, they won the College World Series, but that was all the way back in 1955. Like, we're talking about a different era back then compared to now. And when you have to pick and choose what you're going to really invest in, like, yeah, like, times have definitely changed. You know, I'm sure getting to the College World Series in 23 definitely helped, you know, probably bump up the resources a little bit, but still, I can't imagine it's anything compared to what you're getting in the SEC. And I guess the discussion here now is with Walter. I mean, he's been at Wake Forest for 16 years now. It's a long time to be at one place. Before that, he was at New Orleans, took New Orleans to 2 postseason appearances, and then was at George Washington for a handful of years, got them to the postseason in 2002. It's just, you got to wonder, I mean, at this point, is he kind of content with being at Wake Forest? Because he's, if my math is correct, he should be, you know, pushing 60 at this point, getting pretty close to being 60 years old. He's kind of probably at the end of the career. And here's the thing that I think was the mistake with Mainieri. You know, at the time, I thought it was a pretty good hire just because he's a proven winner. He checks that box off. He did a really good job at LSU, did a good job at Notre Dame. The problem with him, besides the fact that, you know, he had been out of the game for the last few years, wasn't equipped for NIL and the transfer portal, he was also very old and on his last stop of his college baseball coaching career. I kind of feel like that would be the same case here with Walter, and then you're kind of back on this carousel of you only have him for a few years, make the most of it. That's a ship I don't think you want to get back into. And also, I just feel like, you know, yes, he made the College World Series, but there really hasn't been – he's only had one other super regional appearance, and that was all the way back in 2017. Besides that, it's been a ton of missed postseasons, getting to the postseason a few years now. I'm just not particularly – he's a good coach, but I don't think I'm sold on him compared to someone who's a lot younger in Fitzgerald and a guy that has probably done – a lot more with much less out of Kansas.
And that is significant to point out that Fitzgerald is about 10 years younger. I think it's funny. I can't find a specific birthday for Fitzgerald or Tom Walter, but it's believed that Tom Walter, again, is in his late 50s, getting up to 60, and Fitzgerald's, you know, kind of in his late 40s. So you do have a decade of difference there. Again, we just don't have as long of a track record when it comes to Fitzgerald in terms of his head coaching experience, but he's done a really good job in his few years at Kansas, and he's probably doing more with a lot less there, too. At Kansas may even spend less than Wake Forest does when it comes to baseball and NIL and all that kind of stuff. So that's something that certainly does seem to favor Dan Fitzgerald a little bit. I did also want to point out, just throwing this out there, in reference to the difference between the attitude and selfishness of somebody like Tom Walter. He did also donate a kidney to one of his players back in 2011. So I imagine he's a guy that people would want to play for. Again, he may not advance through here. I did want to point that out, though, that he did do that back in 2011.
I just think the time's passed on hiring Tom Walter. If you were going to do it, could have done it maybe in 2017 or 2024. That is just, I think that time is now over. Look, he's a lot older now. I looked it up because I couldn't find a specific age. It said he was 42 back in 2011. So let's do the math. 15 years later, he's at least 57 years old. So, yeah, he's definitely kind of like entering, you know, if he's going to retire at some point in his 60s, like he could coach for 10 more years. He could also be done in a few years. Like that's just, I don't think you're ready to take that sort of risk. And also just, you know, besides making the College World Series one year, you need a proven winner in 2026. And getting to the postseason, I don't think is really it's good, but I think you need someone that is younger and can do more, I think. So I'm still sticking with Fitzgerald. He's moved on for a few rounds, but I think he's ultimately, until we get to some really, really good candidates here, he's still going to be probably one of the favorites.
I think Dan Fitzgerald now has the most wins that we've been doing this for 2 weeks so far. Again, we got some pretty heavy hitters coming up here, but Fitzgerald, he's holding his own.
He's definitely holding his own. He's a great coach, and so is Tom Walter. But again, I think there's a lot more to like right now about what's going on at Kansas, because I think that's one of the better stories here the last 2 seasons.
Dan Fitzgerald move on to week number 3. Only got a handful more candidates to go as we try and figure out who we think the best candidate for the South Carolina head coaching job is going to be. We'll switch gears to college football coming up next. Where's College Game Day going to be at this season? We'll try and make our best guess on that coming up next. It is The Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri on your Friday on the Game.
South Carolina head baseball coach Paul Maneri has been let go. Monty Lee is the interim coach, and possible candidates are already emerging.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. We're in week 11, and we're already talking about jobs. What a world we're in.
Keep it here on The Game as we follow every rumor. Girlfriend.
No fluff. No filler. That's good enough for me.
Your home of all Gamecocks gossip. 107.5 The Game and The Game Network.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Looking for a truck dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, your truck headquarters, proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're after a brand new Silverado, a tough pre-owned truck, or expert service, you'll find it all right here with a huge selection and the best truck deals around. There's no better place to shop. Visit HerndonChevy.com or stop by today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
When you're craving scratch-made food, 29-degree draft beer, and the best seat in the house for every game, there's only one place to go, Twin Peaks. From juicy burgers and smoked in-house wings to ice-cold brews served by the friendliest team around, Twin Peaks is your ultimate sports lodge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you never miss a moment. So grab your crew and head to Twin Peaks, where the views are great, the food hits hard, and the beer is always colder than your ex's heart. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
The Gant family with Pioneer Tree Service has been taking care of trees in Columbia and surrounding areas for over 48 years. Pioneer Tree Service provides tree and shrub removal, pruning and thinning, tree planting, cabling and bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding and removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, right-of-way maintenance, and more. They also provide 24-hour emergency tree removal. They can also handle the removal of diseased and dead trees before an emergency happens. Call them today for a free estimate. 803-794-8253. The Gant family and their team at Pioneer Tree Service can be trusted to provide professional and quality tree services with affordable pricing for residential or commercial jobs. Ashton Smith called Pioneer Tree Service and said they came when she was leaving for work, and when she got home, the tree was gone, as if it was never there. She was so impressed with Pioneer Tree Service, she will definitely use them again. Here's one of the Gant girls, Madison Gant.
Call us today for a free estimate at 803-794-8253 or check us out online at pioneertreesc.com.
Springtime is a great time for a new car, and State Credit Union is a great place to finance that new car. With rates as low as 4.25% APR and up to 90 days with no payment, you can drive what you love and keep some money in your pocket. Visit State Credit Union's website for details and to find a location near you. SCSCU.com. Visit one of State Credit Union's 8 Midlands branches today. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender, federally insured by the NCUA.
At AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Call today to schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment. Let AAA Heating and Air qualified technicians put your mind at ease with a thorough inspection and cleaning of your heating and cooling system. Join their popular AAA Comfort Club to take advantage of extras like flexible visits, added discounts, and priority scheduling. Visit callAAAtoday.com to schedule an appointment. Tell them Preston on the Game sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Learning to drive, getting married, the birth of your children. These are the life-changing events you remember your whole life. I'm Jason Reynolds. A serious injury changes your life too, in a very different way.
I'm Stephen Samuels. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we get you. We can't erase the injury or change the past, but we can get you through the pain and anxiety, and help you on to a brighter future.
We get South Carolina because we're true South Carolina. Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Vista Roofing, your local CertainTeed Select Shingle Master. Looking for a roof that's built to last? Trust the certified experts at Vista Roofing for professional installation, top-tier materials, and peace of mind backed by industry-leading warranties. From repairs to full replacements, Vista Roofing delivers durable results and exceptional service. Call now or visit VistaRoofingINC.com to schedule your free estimate. Vista Roofing, raising the standard one shingle at a time. Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass, shepherdsglass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Extra Point.
And the kick is good!
With Tyler Head and Jack Veltri from Gamecock Central. On the Game Network, the 107.5, the Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Metro!
All right, welcome back in. It is The Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri with you on your Friday here on The Game. Halfway through the month of May, by the way. Happy May 15th. Hopefully a lot of you, like myself, got paid today, which is always good. 113 days, Jack. 113 days until not just South Carolina kicks off its season. Most teams kicking off their season on September 5th. And we'll all get to wake up early on that Saturday morning, turn on ESPN at 9 a.m. and hear that beautiful College Game Day theme song, sung in part by our own Darius Rucker. And we'll kick things off with 3 full hours of previewing all of college football that day. And that first College Game Day, as we learned earlier on this week, will be down in Baton Rouge for Clemson at LSU in week number 1. Also learned Ohio State at Texas will be the week number 2 destination. No real surprise on either one of those being the first 2 destinations for game day this season.
Definitely not at all. I'm surprised they didn't go ahead and announce week 3 because it's going to be LSU at Ole Miss. I think that's the world's worst kept secret. I heard McAfee talking the other day about how he thought game day or ESPN was going to announce that game day was going there for week 3, but they didn't yet. So, but that'll be, that's like a slam dunk, no brainer. I mean, that's going to be a 7:30 kickoff in Oxford on ABC. And you know, the first 3 weeks of the season are all SEC home games pretty much on game day. And it just makes sense. I mean, you got the week 1's a really, that's probably like the best matchup of the weekend, obviously. Clemson at LSU. Ohio State, Texas, they're not passing up on going to that game. And week 3, the story tells itself with Lane's return to Oxford. So, yeah, those are going to be the first 3 weeks of the year. From there, I got no idea.
I agree with you. I think they're not going to pass up on the opportunity to be in that hostile environment there on the Grove on the 3rd week of the season when LSU goes down to Ole Miss. That might be an all-time Saturday for signs, right? Signs are always great anyway. I can't imagine how creative and perhaps controversial the Ole Miss faithful will be with their signs about Lane Kiffin that day.
Oh, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be probably any big time return like you've ever seen, like LeBron going back to Cleveland for the first time, KD going back to OKC, heck, Lane going back to Knoxville for the first time was a story in and of itself. So it's just going to be crazy, man, and I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, game day going there, I think that is a for sure shoe and lock, unless something changes between now and then.
I imagine, because the people at ESPN will confiscate signs that are a little too controversial. Certainly if you have, things that shouldn't be seen on TV, they'll come and confiscate them. This might set a record for most confiscated signs, because I imagine there'll be some people that are really going to try and push the limits with this, especially with some of the recent comments that Lane Kiffin has made. I can only imagine what people would come up with for this.
Yeah. So, but we talked about the first 3 weeks of the year. I mean, where else can they go? I think week 4 I think we could get another SEC matchup for week 4 potentially, because you're still kind of getting into the works of having really good games. Texas at Tennessee could be really interesting. South Carolina at Alabama, I think, could be something to keep an eye on. Maybe Oklahoma at Georgia. I do think if game day's trying to go away from the SEC every single weekend, I think going to the Big Ten that week with Oregon at Southern Cal could be a really interesting game.
Yeah, there's also Illinois at Ohio State. That could also be a potential there. I think especially if you go through like the first 3 weeks and it's all SEC home games, that's probably when they want to switch it up a little bit. Honestly, I might lean towards Oregon and SoCal if we're going to guess here. That's what I would think they might do.
I agree. I'm feeling that way too. What about week 5 here?
Yeah, so week 5, you got a couple interesting matchups. You got Miami and Clemson, Notre Dame and North Carolina, Vanderbilt going to Georgia. Again, do you circle back to another SEC matchup that quickly? Or I don't think North Carolina's going to be that much better, but that'll be early enough in the season where they might, only have one loss or something like that. I think if they really wanted to get on campus with the Bill Belichick era at North Carolina, this might be their best opportunity to do that in week number 5 versus Notre Dame.
I agree. I think if you're going to get to, I don't know how many ACC games they're going to get to this year. Notre Dame's a big brand, obviously, and that game is at UNC, so it'll be on, should be on like an ESPN network there, so that should be a pretty easy sell for game day. At some point, they're going to go to like one of those small schools. Maybe this is the week to do it. This doesn't feel like there's a ton of great matchups in week 5.
Did they go to any small schools last year? I don't remember them doing that.
I don't think they did, but I could be wrong on that. I just don't recall them going out to, any of those types of schools.
Hold on. I'm trying to see here because I feel like it's been a little bit since they've done that. Let me go back to last year and take a look. Where were they in 2025?
Not a ton of great games on the week 5 slate. Not yet, at least. Maybe things change, but.
So last year, I want to say, I think they went to all power conference games. Yeah, there was no non-power college game days last year. I think it's actually been a couple years since they've done this, especially since they've gotten the SEC contract and exclusive rights. Yeah, even in 24, I don't believe they went to any non-power games. Besides like Army-Navy, that's different. I think 2023, when App State went to James Madison, that was the last time it was a non-power matchup that they went to.
I'll say this. If Clemson can get through the first, let's say, 4 games of the year at LSU, Georgia Southern, UNC, at Cal, and they're undefeated heading into that Miami game, Clemson will host game day.
You think so?
I think so. I think it's either that or the UNC Notre Dame game. I think they go to an ACC school for week 5.
Let's burn through these other weeks real quick. Week 6, some options: Georgia and Alabama, Texas OU, Indiana, Nebraska, Southern Cal at Penn State.
I think they maybe skipped going to Texas, Oklahoma. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like if the matchups really line up correctly, I think they would go probably Texas, Oklahoma. Ultimately, I think Georgia, Alabama is going to be a good matchup too, potentially, but who knows how Alabama is going to be. Let's go with Texas, Oklahoma.
Week 7, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, Notre Dame, BYU, Texas Tech, Arizona State, Ohio State at Indiana. That's probably Ohio State, Indiana. That's probably it, right?
Yeah, that's probably it.
Let's see. Week number 8, A&M at Alabama, LSU, Auburn, Ole Miss, Texas, Houston, Utah, and Indiana, Michigan. I'd probably go Houston, Utah.
I think going out to Utah would be good. First year coach out there. I think it could be, in the post Kyle Whittingham era, could be very interesting.
All right, week number 9, Florida, Georgia, Arizona State, BYU, Clemson, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina, and Ohio State at Southern Cal.
What do you think of this one?
Could they go back Big 12 in back-to-back weeks? Because you stand to have Arizona and BYU probably be pretty good.
Yeah, I think that could be pretty good.
All right, week number 10, LSU, Alabama, Georgia at Ole Miss, BYU at Utah, Miami at Notre Dame, Oregon at Ohio State.
The Holy War, man. Oh, but they already went to Utah.
Yeah, that'd be 3 straight weeks in the state of Utah if they did that.
Yeah, I would say probably not on that one. What were some of the other games on that slate?
I really can't look past Oregon, Ohio State, right? Like that kind of that seems like that would be it.
And I think at this point they haven't gone to Columbus yet, right?
No, we don't have any picked in Columbus yet.
They'll go to Columbus at some point. So yeah, let's go with Ohio State there.
Week 11, Texas at LSU, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Alabama, Vanderbilt, Duke at Miami, Southern Cal at Indiana, Michigan at Oregon.
I feel like at some point they got to probably go to Miami. I would say maybe they'll go to Miami that week. That feels like kind of like at some point they'll have Miami on the slate.
the defending ACC champions versus the team that made the national championship.
The Darian Mensah game.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. I got week number 12, a little bit lighter. How about SMU and Notre Dame? That kind of seems like a sneaky game that could be a game day matchup.
I agree. I think SMU could be a little bit of a sneaky team, so let's do it.
And, of course, we all know the games that happen on rivalry weekend. So pick of the litter, Michigan, Ohio State, Iron Bowl, clean old-fashioned hate, Georgia and Georgia Tech. Really, the possibilities are endless.
Where's the Georgia Tech game this year? Is it neutral site again?
It is in Athens.
It's in Athens.
We've not picked one in Athens yet.
Ooh, if Tech is good, those games are fun. I would say, I don't know. I think probably going with the traditional Michigan, Ohio State's probably going to be it. But if I want to see something different, I'd like to see Georgia and Georgia Tech.
Okay, I'll put it down for clean old-fashioned hate. I'll keep tabs on this, and I'll see how right we are as the season does unfold.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
We'll come back, wrap up the hour. It's graduation season. Talk a little bit about that coming up next. It is The Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Feltry with you on your Friday on The Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This is Bill Gunner with 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. If you run a diner, bakery, coffee shop, burger joint, pizza spot, or that hidden gem everybody should know about, how would you like to get the word out about your business without spending a dime? Well, we got you. All you have to do is text your name, your business, and your phone number to 803-404-6100. That's 803-404-6100. And we'll be in touch. There's no catch. Times are tough, and we're here just trying to help you get folks in the door of your business.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The Buffalo Sabres let a golden opportunity slip away at KeyBank Center last night, dropping a pivotal Game 5 to the Montreal Canadiens 6-3. The Canadiens now hold a 3-2 series lead, pushing Buffalo to the brink. It's do or die time now, and the Sabres head back to Montreal for Game 6 tomorrow night, facing elimination for the first time this postseason. They've got to tighten up the defense, or this dream run is over. I'm Maddie Bates.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Thanks. Is oil marked down?
Save up to $15 when you buy 5 quarts and a filter.
And fuel treatment?
2 for $9 on Lucas.
Brake pads?
Marked down to free.
Free?
Get free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 Duralast rotors.
That's several markdowns.
For many more miles.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Do you have sagging, soft, or bouncy floors in your home? Well, this could be a sign of rotten wood caused by moisture in your crawl space. Damaged wood in your crawl space can affect your home's foundation, and that can affect your home's value, and nobody wants that. Say goodbye to sagging floors and hello to a stable foundation. Contact Canty today for your free inspection at 803-424-8380 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery, staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Correct. All sevens now. We got a $250,000 settlement for a client injured in a car accident when driver illegally turned in front of him.
Dial all sevens now.
The Nastapool Law Firm is not scared to go to court. We got a $2.5 million jury verdict for our client when the other driver failed to yield.
What do you do? Good heavens. Dial all sevens.
To get your attorney, dial 800 all sevens now.
The Extra Point.
And the kick is good.
With Tyler Head and Jack Feltry from Gamecock Central on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Feltry along with you here on your Friday on the Game. As we're getting towards the end of the month of May, that can only mean one thing, Jack. It means it is graduation season.
It is.
This is the song you hear. I don't know what this song originated from. I know you might not be able to hear it because you're doing this remotely. I'm playing the graduation theme song that just plays while people are walking across their stage.
I know exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, so you'll probably hear this a lot in the month of May. In fact, my wife right now is currently at her brother's high school graduation, so it's that time of year.
It is that time of year, yeah. No graduations in the Veltri family this year, though we are expected to have 2 next year at Clemson, so that'll be nice.
Okay, expected like you don't know if they're graduating next year, or?
No. So, as of right now, like my brother, so he is slated to graduate. I think he's slated to graduate next May.
Okay.
Long story short, he was at Marshall for 2 years. Some of his credits didn't all transfer over to Clemson, so he's having to take extra classes right now to get caught up in that regard. So he'll probably end up graduating in May 2027. I think that's what my mom told me recently.
Okay.
And then my sister should graduate next May as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about college is sometimes you can be there 4 years, 4.5 years, 5 years, just kind of depending on how long it takes you to finish all your courses. I think I did 4.5 years because I started college in fall of 2014 and graduated in May of 2019. So yeah, little over 4 years, I guess.
Yeah. So I was in college 4.5, and the nice thing is I got to walk early in I think it was like May 2022, and then I came back for one more semester, finished it out, and that was all good. So.
Now, May graduate, is that at Willie B?
No, it's at CLA.
Okay.
I don't think, I know during the COVID, they did graduations at Willie B just because it was outdoor and you could space everyone out and stuff. But as far as I'm aware, I've only ever seen them do graduations. I've seen them do graduations at CLA, but I've also seen them do some on the Horseshoe. But I think that's for much smaller majors or specific parts of the school.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I've told you I went to community college before I went to the University of Georgia. My community college ended up getting bought out by Georgia State, in one of my last couple semesters there. So we became a part of Georgia State's system. So I have a degree from Georgia State without actually going to Georgia State. But what was cool is when I graduated there, we got to be a part of the GSU graduation. Well, at the time, Georgia State was playing football in the Georgia Dome. So they used the Georgia Dome for their graduation. I was literally on the floor of the Georgia Dome a month before 2 months before they tore it down. And they still had the turf and everything for the Falcons there. I'm sitting on the 10-yard line while the graduation ceremony's going on. Very cool. And again, they would tear the Georgia Dome down 3 months later because that was his last year in existence. But I thought that was pretty neat. I'm I have tons of memories at the Georgia Dome, obviously, but that was one of the cooler ones.
That is very cool. That is awesome.
Yeah. So again, I have a degree for a school that I technically never went to, which I always find really funny.
Yeah, that's definitely fun. I did not realize that. That's pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah,
it's kind
pretty
of
cool.
A nice little flex.
Also, this is the time of year where I have the realization that it's now been 12 years since I graduated high school, which is insane to me.
Dude, it's crazy. I got 2 more years till it's 10 years since I graduated high school. It's nuts, man. Time has really been flying by.
Now, are you going to a 10-year reunion? Is anybody talking about that yet?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything yet. I kind of hope I get an invite to that. That would be cool. I ran into some old high school buddies at the gym the other day when I was home in Fort Mills. So I'm kind of hoping. I'd like to see some people I haven't seen since high school. That'd be awesome.
See, here's the thing. I think I only talked with maybe 3 or 4 people that I knew from high school. The other people, it was I was friends with them because they were just around me all the time. But when you get out of high school, you kind of realize oh, these are the people that I'm really connected and friends with.
I barely talk to anyone from high school. If anything, I'll talk to people from college, but yeah, man, it's not as frequent. So.
Yeah. No, that's just the reality. And again, if you have great connections with the people from high school, that's great. It's not the same for everybody. But yeah, we had some people from our high school that organized a 10-year reunion in the park, but I think only 10 people went. I was not one of those 10 people. I saw the pictures on Facebook, and I was there's nobody there that I really was dying to see.
That's crazy. I kind of hope I get an invite to one of those. I'm going to be really sad if it passes and I had no idea that it was going on.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anyway, best of luck to all the graduates out there, high school, college, kindergarten, whatever you're graduating from. Good luck in your next step in life. But they do kindergarten graduations are a thing, man. That's a thing.
I can speak to this with my mom being a school teacher. I can definitely speak to this.
Yeah. So. Hey, you know what? It's a promotion nonetheless. So best of luck to everybody out there. Hour number 2 on the way. What is Carolina ranked in CBS's 1 through 138? We'll tell you next here on The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
All right, everyone, as we close out the first hour here, let me tell you guys about our friends over at AAA Heating and Air, where home comfort is their top priority. Give a call today at 803-677-1500 to schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment. Let AAA's qualified technicians put your mind at ease with a thorough inspection and cleaning of your heating and cooling system. Join their popular AAA Comfort Club to take advantage of special extras such as flexible visits, added discounts, and priority scheduling. AAA Heating and Air also offers indoor air quality products that work with your HVAC system to improve your home's air quality. Cleaning the air eliminates common household odors, removes allergens and pollutants, and can even improve sleep and reduce the spread of some viruses. So go to callAAAtoday.com. Again, that is callAAAtoday.com for more info. Tell them Jack from 107.5 The Game sent you on over.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Looking for a truck dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, your truck headquarters, proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're after a brand new Silverado, a tough pre-owned truck, or expert service, you'll find it all right here with a huge selection and the best truck deals around. There's no better place to shop. Visit HerndonChevy.com or stop by today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Springtime in Columbia. And if you own a business, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad. And I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
Rhino Shield's not pain, it's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business or residential, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday, said they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer is limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino. Hey, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to give your home a refresh. At Dan's Fan City in Harbison, we're celebrating spring cleaning with amazing deals on floor samples, closeouts, and overstocks. Whether you're looking to upgrade your ceiling fans or add a new one to your space, Dan's Fan City has you covered. Stop by our store or give us a call at 781-FANS to take advantage of these fantastic offers. Don't miss out on the chance to save big and elevate your home's comfort and style with Dan's Fan City on Harbison Boulevard.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station.
Oh, yeah.
The Extra Point with Tyler Head.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
Welcome back in. Hour number 2. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Feltry along with you here on your Friday on the Game. To the point of our conversation on graduating, the last segment there, Katie says, I have an MPA jointly from South Carolina and College of Charleston. Had SC professors, but they taught me in Charleston. Never took a class in Columbia, yet has a degree from USC. Yeah, there's loopholes to this sometimes. I've never been on a job interview or anything else like that where anybody really grilled me on if I went to Georgia State or not. So I just tell people, yeah, I'm a Georgia State alumni, got my associate's degree there, and nobody asks any further questions. Sounds better than saying I went to Perimeter College.
Perimeter College.
Yes. Georgia Perimeter College was like, it was funny because, so we had a campus in my hometown. There's a campus in Covington, Georgia, the smallest campus. It's only 2 buildings, literally like 10 minutes from my parents' house. We called it 13th grade when I was in high school because that is like where everybody, if you didn't go directly to like a major university, everybody just went to Perimeter. Some people, got an associate. Some people dropped out after a semester, but like you saw all the same people from high school at community college immediately after if you went to Perimeter. So we called it 13th grade.
Perimeter is, that's so funny. 13th grade. That's fine. I didn't realize that about you, man. That's a good story.
Yep. I have my University of Georgia diploma framed. I don't even know where my one from Georgia State's at, but it's probably in a box somewhere.
Yeah, I have mine framed. I need to hang it up though. But I'm moving out of my place in like 2 months, so I'll put it up later. So.
There you go. Yeah, you'll you can put yours and Caroline's next to each other, right?
Yeah, she graduated from Western Carolina, so the probably cooler school. I do no disrespect. I do like USC, but going to Western Carolina is definitely a cool flex.
Why is it cooler?
I like the mountain vibe, man. I like it out there. Like if I had known about Western Carolina, shoot, I probably would have gone there. Like it is an awesome looking school. I like a good small school. South Carolina's nice, but it's so spread out, man. It's very spread out. So I like the cohesiveness of a school, and it's in the mountains, and it's a good time.
I will say I do think Catamounts is one of the cooler nicknames in college sports.
Oh yeah, and then football games there are a fun time. It's definitely that small town type of vibe, which is kind of my speed, I think, a little bit.
Again, congratulations to everybody that is graduating, whether it be college, high school, or whatever. Best of luck in your next opportunity. We are in the midst of the football offseason, so that means we're looking at lists, rankings, bowl projections, all those kind of things. And I came across the other day, CBS Sports put out their 138. There are now 138 Division I FBS teams, for those that are not familiar. And they ranked all of them from first to last for their post-spring football rankings. So they did put out some rankings earlier on before spring started, and now have updated this post-spring. And South Carolina was their biggest mover from pre-spring to post-spring, jumping 45 spots, going from 77 all the way to number 32. The quick expert from CBSSports.com says voters did not respond kindly to what was an underachieving 2025 Gamecock season. After starting the year with one of the most talented quarterbacks in the SEC, the team sputtered. Close games, mentioning the Alabama and A&M losses. But with just 3 wins against FBS opponents on the season, our voters have the Gamecocks outside the top 70 to finish the year. An adjustment back up inside the top 40 suggests a projection that a few of those close games flip the other way, and Shane Beamer is bowling again in 2026. So, Jack, this kind of goes to what our hope and belief is with what Carolina's brought in this offseason, not only in the coaching staff, but certainly with the players on the field through the portal as well. That's like, if you can just get a little bit better, particularly on offense, right? The defense did their job of keeping you in most of those games last year and giving you a chance to win. If your offense can be, again, I just say average in most categories, you could beat Alabama. You could have beaten Texas A&M. You could have maybe beaten Clemson. Like, you were in those games, even as bad as your offense was. And if you can just improve in those areas, hopefully more of those games will tilt in your favor this year.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're definitely hoping that's the case, that things are going to be, where they need to be here in 2026. And yeah, it's good to see that they, on paper are, making the substantial improvements necessary. But that's one. I mean, look, they're doing all the right things this offseason, no doubt about it. Now it's another to go out here and, put it all together during the season.
And, this doesn't have any record projections next to it or anything like that. But if you told me, not that we have rankings that go all the way to 32, but let's say hypothetically we did, and I told you that South Carolina ended up being the 32nd best team in the country by the end of the season, that's probably like 8-4, you'd probably say?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, 32nd best team, there's an outside chance it could be 7-5, but I think for the most part it would be somewhere in the 8-4 range.
It could be 7-5 with like a couple of really significant wins, like you beat Alabama in like the top 10, you beat Georgia in the next to last week of the regular season when they're ranked pretty high. Like, a 7-5 being that high at the end of the year would probably mean you've taken out at least a couple of pretty big dogs across the season, particularly in that back half of the schedules we talked about the other day. So that might be like a 7-5 that the fan base might find more acceptable. But I think, and we've talked about this, if you get to 8-4, I don't think there's anybody in this fan base that should be dissatisfied with that because of how significant a jump that is from one year to the next, and considering how difficult the schedule is this year.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule is definitely difficult in a lot of ways, but I definitely think there is a path. I think the ceiling potentially for this team is going 10 wins, but we'll see if that ends up being the case.
Yeah, so again, that's CBS's projection of where Carolina is post-spring, so at least they have some belief in South Carolina. Doesn't really shock anybody. Ohio State's at number 1. Texas at number 2, Oregon at number 3, Notre Dame at number 4, and Georgia at number 5. I don't think any of these are egregious. Maybe people think Notre Dame's being valued a little bit too high right there. But again, they're a team that at least made a case for being in the playoff a year ago. And we kind of talk about what we perceive to be some of the biggest spenders in the sport, and those are kind of all the teams that you think of, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, look, the team, money does not as necessarily equate to being a great team, but it certainly helps. And for those premier programs out there, yeah, it's definitely the case.
So I went through and picked what it would look like for a hypothetical 12-team playoff based off of these sets of rankings here. So you'd have Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, Notre Dame all getting the byes. You'd have a Boise and UGA as the 12-5 matchup, Bama and Indiana as the 11-6, Oklahoma and Miami as the 10-7, and then Texas Tech and Texas A&M as the 9-8 matchup.
Okay. Yeah, I think, makes sense to me.
I mean, that sounds like a fun playoff. Again, that's what we're going off of what we know about these teams from the year prior, but I'm assuming all these teams should be in the mix again this year. I'm really interested, by the way, to see, does Texas Tech take a step forward? Now, again, they're dealing with the Brandon Sorsby situation, trying to figure out their quarterback, but, they obviously were a team that was very loaded with talent because of what they were able to spend in the portal and all that kind of stuff. When they got into the playoff, that obviously didn't really help them get that far, including just kind of getting dominated by Miami and in whatever bowl game that was they played them against. So I just, or was it? Yeah, it was Miami, right? They played Miami in the postseason.
Who was this?
Texas Tech.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what kind of step forward they can make, because I still don't know how good of a coach Joey McGuire is. He's obviously got a lot of talent, but you need to still be a really good head coach to take a team deep into the college football playoff. And I don't know enough about Joey McGuire yet to make that judgment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
By the way, and again, this is based off CBS's 1 through 138 rankings. The opponents for South Carolina in order: Kent State at 129, Towson's FCS, so they're not going to be on this list. Mississippi State at 57, Alabama at 11, Kentucky at 58, Florida at 25, Tennessee at 17, Oklahoma at 10, A&M at 8, Arkansas at 62, Georgia at 5, and Clemson at 26. So you have 7 teams that are all perceived to be higher than South Carolina in their post-spring rankings for CBS. So, again, doesn't mean you're going to lose all those games, but that kind of, again, illustrates how tough we're anticipating the schedule to be.
It's definitely going to be tough. They have some tough games. That back end of the schedule especially is going to be really tricky, but I think it can be done to have a good season. So we'll see if that ends up being the case.
Yeah, hopefully so. And again, I know Beamer kind of set the expectation himself that they're going to be in the playoff mix. I don't need that to happen this year. It'd be great if they were. I mean, certainly we'd love to cover a team that ends up making the college football playoff and maybe hosting a game over at Williams-Brice Stadium. Objective number 1 is to get back bowl eligible, which means getting to at least 6 wins, which I do think there's a path for that. And then I think, like I said, if you get 8 games, you win 8 games this year and go 8-4 in the regular season, nobody should be dissatisfied with that at all.
No, definitely not.
So we'll see what happens, but there's CBS looking at the 1 through 138 rankings post-spring. The NFL released their schedule for 2026 last night. There's been a lot of very entertaining schedule release videos. Once again, we'll talk about some of those and things that stand out to us about the NFL schedule for this upcoming year. As the Extra Point rolls along, Tyler Head and Jack Feltry on your Friday on The Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
If the Gamecocks hit a grand slam, you can win cash. It's the Crescent Construction Grand Slam Giveaway.
If the Gamecocks don't hit a grand slam, the pot goes up $25 a game.
Just go to 1075thegame.com to register. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm self-employed, and we got sidetracked on our taxes at the 2008 recession, and it became a monster that we couldn't tackle ourselves. We heard about the Ecton Law Firm on the radio and contacted John. If you could classify someone as a miracle worker, I would put him at the top of the list because he took our problem and resolved it for us with our not only our unpaid taxes, but our unfiled tax returns from previous years. And I would highly recommend the Ecton Law Firm.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Email hijacking and ransomware are on the rise, and they're targeting your business. Once your data is out there, there's no fix, no reset. Do you know where your business is vulnerable right now? Find out with a cybersecurity audit from IntelliSystems. IntelliSystems is one of the few firms worldwide that's GTIA Cybersecurity Trustmark Assured, meaning the highest global standards. They find gaps before criminals do. Schedule your audit now. IntelliSystems.com.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
1201 Main Street, Columbia.
Hey, this is Jen Jensen for CHW Cabinetry. My family is using CHW Cabinetry, and they are fantastic to work with. They make sure you're satisfied with every step of the process. Not only do their photorealistic renderings show exactly what your new space will look like, their job site guarantees everyone is on the same page, literally. Experience the CHW difference for yourself. Go to chwcabinetry.com to see more, or call them at 803-520-6837, and be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
New tires do more than keep you rolling. They make every drive smoother, quieter, and more efficient. At Wetzel's Automotive, we carry top brand tires to fit your vehicle and every budget. As your neighborhood shop, we take time to mount, balance, and align them the right way so you'll enjoy better handling and longer tire life. Plus, free rotations with your tire purchase help you get the most miles out of every set. For friendly service and trusted care, visit us at 2017 Augusta Road in West Columbia or online at wetzelsauto.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Oh, yeah. The Extra Point with Tyler Head.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri with you here on your Friday on the Game. We'll get to the NFL schedule release coming up in just a moment from last night. But Jack, we have some breaking news. I'm always open to breaking news, by the way. We have another assistant coach hire for South Carolina men's basketball.
Yep. So this might be a name that some folks that have watched college basketball for a while now do recognize. Sam Decker is going to be joining the staff as an assistant. And to my knowledge, this should be his first coaching gig. He played at Wisconsin from 2012 to 15. Obviously, he was on that 2015 team. I believe they had Frank Kaminsky, really good squad. That I think they played Duke or I can't remember what it's a lot going on here, but Sam Decker, former first-round pick in the NBA, so we'll see what this does for the Gamecocks. But some breaking news there.
Yeah, obviously Lamont Paris was there as the assistant, at Wisconsin at that time. So obviously those guys have a previous relationship, and just kind of looking at his bio. I mean, Decker has been playing professional basketball, at least overseas, all the way up into this year. So it sounds like he wants to get in the coaching ranks. And again, this is the first time he will be a coach in any kind of role. Obviously, he's a guy with tons of experience and played at a very high level when he was at Wisconsin. So if nothing else, I feel like he can serve as a really good mentor to this crop of players that South Carolina is going to have this next upcoming season, and will continue to mold and hopefully grow as a coach. But definitely a notable name to get on the staff, nonetheless.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, like the addition there, we'll see what kind of impact he makes. But yeah, I mean, it's another assistant with a lot of NBA, college, and international experience. I think having him from an international standpoint, with all the international players they're adding to their roster, that may end up helping out. Even though he is he's an American, he's from Wisconsin, born there, raised there, played there, but he has played overseas. So I think he kind of gets that side of the game too.
Well, and that is an interesting point that you bring up, because there are still a couple of spots on the roster that can be filled. But as Lamont Paris mentioned a couple weeks ago at the Garnet and Black road trip, it seems like they're saving those spots for international players who, again, are a lot of them are in season right now. So the timeline of getting them here to campus is a little bit different. But I imagine Sam Decker can at least create some more inroads to some other possible guys South Carolina may be able to look at that could help fill out the rest of the roster. So it doesn't hurt. That's the thing. It's like we can't speak to Sam Decker's coaching experience because he doesn't have any. But again, for a guy that played at as high levels he did, obviously went to the NBA, I feel like that's somebody that hopefully can, at least from a mentor standpoint, give you some good stuff here at Carolina.
Especially as a guy that played forward. I mean, that should help a lot. So we'll see what it makes. But time will tell.
So there you go. Sam Decker, the latest hire for South Carolina that fills out all the assistant coach vacancies. And again, still a few more spots to go in terms of filling out the rest of this roster for this upcoming 2026-2027 season. Last night, we did get the schedule release from the NFL network special on ESPN. Now, here's the funny thing, Jack, is when it comes to NFL schedules, these things start leaking out days before. So you had a good idea of a lot of, especially the early games in the season before. But last night we got the full schedule releases from everyone, and that means we get everybody's schedule release videos as well. All the social teams obviously work very hard on this. This is kind of like their Super Bowl every single year. I know you were at the game last night, but I sent you a bunch of them. Did any of them stand out to you as better than the others?
The one I watched it this morning was the Trevor Lawrence one. That was, man, for those who missed it, Trevor Lawrence has been known for having those luscious golden locks for I don't even know how long, since high school. I think.
He had them all the way back in his high school days.
Yeah, and he cut them off last night. I think it's a far worse look than what he had originally.
Oh, you don't think he looks better without them?
No, I think he looks worse with them, honestly.
That's an interesting take. I guess maybe this is him, I don't know, turning over a new leaf and showing more maturity or something like that. I don't know. But that was part of their release video last night with him getting it chopped, and I guess that's who he is going forward now.
I guess so. I also liked the Colts video. It looks like they had like a Simpsons looking.
They did.
Intro, which is pretty cool.
So they did the entire Simpsons intro with some modifications to it to be more Colts and football specific. But then the actual schedule part was clips from the show that correlate to the different teams, which I thought was pretty funny.
That's pretty genius.
So that they got the rights to do that from the Simpsons and ABC or whatever, or I guess Fox, Disney Plus, whoever, to do that. So I thought that was pretty neat. There was the San Diego Chargers did a full Halo release, so the Halo video game. That's what the entire thing was. Now, I'm not like a big Halo player myself. I'm familiar enough with the game, but people were losing their minds on that one.
Yeah, it's that's pretty crazy.
My personal favorite, though, was probably the Rams because they did a full Napoleon Dynamite one where they basically mimicked the opening credits to Napoleon Dynamite, where they're writing the different opponents on various like food items and books and stuff like that. Again, that's maybe a little bit more niche, but I love Napoleon Dynamite, so that one checks the box for me.
Yeah. All right, so what do we think so far? What do we think of the schedule? I think we could start with our own teams here. I mean, what do we think about the Falcons and the Bills, man? Are we excited? What are we thinking here?
Yeah, let me get the Falcons schedule up here real quick. Well, what's your thoughts on the Bills?
Well, first off, I'm a little annoyed that the preseason game they played the Panthers and it's in Buffalo. I wish that was here because I would have liked to go. Although I say that, like I think they played the Panthers last year, 2 years ago in Carolina for a preseason game. Didn't get to go. Didn't get to go last year either because of something with work covering basketball. But I think the schedule is it's going to be a little bit tough. I think right out of the gate you get at Houston, Detroit, the Chargers, New England, and then at the Rams, and then at Vegas, all before the bye week. And that bye week is early this year. So, I mean, look, I feel good, but, it could be a little bit tough. As we'll get into later, the Bills are going to be featured a lot on the prime time and holiday schedule, which I'll share more thoughts on later, but I do like the schedule for the most part.
For the Falcons, interesting quirk for them from weeks 3 to week 5. They're in a prime time game every single week. Thursday night football in week 3 at Green Bay. Monday night football in week number 4 at New Orleans. By the way, that is going to be the 20th anniversary of the Katrina game, the same game that Steve Gleason blocked Michael Canaan's punt that ended up getting the statue outside of the Superdome. So that is going to be a very emotionally charged environment that's certainly not going to be in the Falcons' favor in that game. And then Baltimore Sunday night for week number 5. Rarely do you see a team be featured in primetime 3 straight weeks in a row.
Yeah, I don't know how often that's happened. That's kind of crazy. On the flip side, there are a few teams that aren't even getting a primetime game this year. I saw the Jets don't have a primetime game this year, which is surprising.
Yeah, I got the list pulled up here.
I know there's a few others. I think maybe the Cardinals, maybe.
The Jets, Titans, Raiders, Cardinals, and Dolphins, none of those teams have primetime games, which honestly, the Raiders with getting Fernando Mendoza does surprise me a little bit because typically the NFL will at least throw a bone to, especially if it's a quarterback being the number 1 pick, like, hey, at least early in the season before the team really falls off the rails, hey, we'll get, Fernando Mendoza on Sunday night in week number 3 or something like that.
Like, I thought it'd be like a Thursday night game. I thought the way the NFL did it was they would do a Thursday night game for every single team had to be on at least one Thursday night game. But I guess they kind of got rid of that, which I think is better because you get some really crummy Thursday night games. So I'm all for it. And honestly, when you look at it this way, a lot of these teams are probably playing international potentially to some extent. Though actually, I don't see the Jets on the international schedule. So, or the Cardinals. So I mean, who knows?
Speaking of international games, by the way, and most of these were leaked out prior to last night's schedule release. I think we've gone too far with this, man. And look, there's games all over the world this year. San Francisco and LA, or the Rams, are going to start the season off in Melbourne on that Thursday night. You got Rio de Janeiro, the London games, of course, Paris, Madrid, Munich, and Mexico City. I understand what the NFL's trying to do, grow the game, so to speak, but international games used to feel really special because they weren't happening every single week. And when your team was playing in one, it felt like something you could really get juiced up about. Now they happen every single week, and they're going to get to a point where there's going to be an international game every single week. Believe that, across all 18 weeks of the regular season. But it just kind of feels like it's oversaturated. You know what I mean? I don't feel the need to watch these games the way that I used to.
Yeah, I understand it from a growth standpoint, but yeah, it's just too much. Less is more is the way I look at it. And the fact that there's going to be an international game, starting in the first week of the year, then from September 27th till November 22nd, we're going to have an international game every week. I just think it's too much, to be honest. And honestly, I don't think the players or teams really like going out there. It's cool for the fans, but I think it's just kind of crazy that there's going to be an international game seemingly every week.
Yeah, and I don't think every team is guaranteed to have the bye after the international game either.
Which is a big problem.
Right, the Falcons specifically, they play Cincinnati. That's going to be in Madrid, I believe, that's November 8th. And then they have a home game the next weekend against Kansas City, because at least it used to be you'd have an international game and then you'd have your bye week after that. Now that's not even guaranteed anymore, which, again, it's so funny to me. The NFL preaches so much about player safety, but we play Thursday Night Football every single week, and now you're giving teams international games without buys after that. That's not conducive to player safety.
No, it's not. I think we got to get to a point where we need 2 bye weeks. And honestly, speaking of the bye weeks, I think we just got to I saw something today. We need the bye weeks, like half the teams are on a bye, like middle of the season, like week 12 or 13 or whatever. And then the next week, the rest of the 16 teams are on a bye the next week. I just don't know why we're having teams have, like the Bills have a bye week in week 7, and you still got, 10 games to go after that with a lot of really tough opponents. Like, it's a long season, man. We're already at 18 weeks. I think we do need 2 byes eventually here.
When the NFL goes to 18 games, which, again, that's definitely going to happen in the near future, I feel like you have to have a second bye in there. I feel like the Players Association wouldn't agree to it unless they did. So that's most likely going to be coming in the very near future.
Absolutely. There's just no other option but that. But, yeah, I think there's too many international games, a little oversaturation. I understand you want to travel the globe and take the NFL global. But I think eventually we may see something like a partnership with a team potentially. If they ever want to do more expansion, I would not rule out the possibility of an international team. But I don't know, man. I'm glad the Bills are not playing international this year. I would not be a fan of that.
Well, while the international games may not be something that gets you excited, the holiday games certainly will. We'll dive into what the NFL is going to be doing on the holidays this year. Coming up next, it is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Feltry on your Friday on the Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
Elijah Campbell here from 107.5 The Game, and spring cleaning is in full swing. And if you're hosting graduation parties or family get-togethers, Zerorez can help you get your home ready. Get carpets cleaned for just $35 per room and stairs for only $35, 50% off the standard price, plus take $50 off air duct cleaning, all by mentioning 107.5 The Game. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, just a deeper clean that lasts longer. Appointments are filling fast. Visit ZerorezColumbia.com to book today.
Do you have gold you don't need? Are you looking to get cash? At Traditions Fine Jewelers, it only takes a few minutes for them to check, but you'll be amazed at what cash it brings. Did you know if you had gold the size and weight of a quarter, you would generate $177 in 10 karat or $248 in 14 karat? Want to trade your gold? The same quarter gold would generate $303 in 10 karat or $425 in 14 karat. Traditions Fine Jewelers, Sunset Boulevard in Lexington, or at the Village at Sandhills. Always giving you more for your gold.
I grew up in South Carolina. I went to school here. I met my wife here. And together we opened the Jeffcoat firm right here to help our community get the support they deserve.
We believe that local is better.
And you deserve better.
Responsible attorney is Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, Tell them, Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
1201 Main Street, Columbia.
If your lawnmower sat all winter, you're running out of time to get it ready for spring. Now for a limited time, Cato's Power Equipment is offering special spring service pricing with push-more tune-ups starting at $100 and zero-turn services starting as low as $200. Let Cato's get your equipment tuned up and ready for the mowing season ahead. Need help getting your mower to us? Pickup and delivery starts at just $50. Don't wait. Call or stop by Cato's Power Equipment today and get your mower ready before the grass takes over. Visit CatosPowerEquipment.com.
For digital marketing that works, you need local expertise and national scale. Cumulus Digital provides hometown teams fueled by national support, serving over 4,000 businesses a month. Go to cumulusdigital.com. A short form is all it takes to get started.
I grew up in South Carolina. I went to school here. I met my wife here. And together we opened the Jeffcoat firm right here to help our community get the support they deserve.
We believe that local is better.
And you deserve better.
Responsible attorney is Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Listen, it is not too late to stop this. Do not do this. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's damn near perfect. It's beautiful as it is. Stop trying to fix what ain't broke. And stop telling me that the tournament isn't the tournament unless the 15th place team in the SEC gets in. Stop jerking with the best event in all of sports, you pigs.
The Jim Rome Show podcast. What's your beef? Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
What team sprung a leak this weekend? Sponsored by American Leak Detection on the Extra Point.
Welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Feltry along with you here on your Friday on the Game. We'll get more into the NFL schedule release coming up in just a moment. But first, it's time for Who Sprung a Leak, brought to you by our friends over at American Leak Detection. And because South Carolina and Vanderbilt wrapped up so early last night, sub 3-hour game, which I'm always in favor of, I got to bounce around a little bit and watch some other college baseball happening last night. Georgia and Auburn played a phenomenal game out there in game number 1 of their series last night. But Who Sprung a Leak comes to us from Mississippi State and Vanderbilt, a top 15 matchup with the Bulldogs on the road at the Aggies. Jack, 29 combined runs in 9 innings here. The pitching staffs were really having trouble keeping guys off the base paths last night.
Mississippi State had a 13-run inning last night. Just let that sink in. There's been, it's very rare you see something like that. Like, remember a few weeks ago seeing a bunt double? Yep. Yeah, that's kind of the equivalent right there. Like, you probably have to bat like 2 times through the order to get 13 runs in an inning. And those are 2 top 10 teams going up against each other. So Texas A&M, look, bad nights happen for all teams. South Carolina knows that better than anyone. But, the fact that happened is kind of crazy. That's wild. What was the final score in that game last night? I saw it was 17-7 at one point.
18-11. Mississippi State.
My gosh. Football score.
Yeah, I saw that one on the bottom of the crawl last night. I'm like, that can't be right. No, it was right. All right. That's I don't know. That's a bizarre one for sure, and I can't imagine that game ended very quickly by any means. But there's Who Sprung a Leak, brought to our friends over at American Leak Detection. Didn't have that many runs last night in Vanderbilt.
Man, that game was quick last night, man. That South Carolina game flew by like I can't snap, but they flew by like that.
So. Well, and that's the good thing, at least, when it's a one-sided game, Carolina's not going to come back. At least it ended early. And college baseball's so odd because we have a pitch clock and all that kind of stuff, but like you can still have a game that's one-sided and it take 3.5 hours, and like we don't need to be here for all that.
No, it does not move along as quickly as you would think. And I think the pitch, the ABS might slow it down a little bit further, but we'll see next week out in Hoover.
Yeah, we'll find out about that for sure. Continuing on with our conversation about the NFL's schedule release, which was last night on ESPN. Again, there's a lot of really good team release videos if you want to go and check that out from the various teams on their social channels. Jack, we also have a brand new holiday Have you ever heard of Thanksgiving Eve before?
I have not, but I'm intrigued by it.
So the night before Thanksgiving, Wednesday, November 25th, Thanksgiving Eve, if that's a thing, I guess, Green Bay and the Rams will play at 8 o'clock on Netflix. That will now – again, the NFL has always had a presence on Thanksgiving Day for pretty much their entire history, and you do still have some games there, and we'll get to those in a moment. But now you have Thanksgiving Eve, and in the past couple of years, and we'll have again this year with Denver and Pittsburgh, you have Black Friday as well. They are quite literally taking the entire Thanksgiving week to themselves now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just crazy. But I will say, I'm not gonna lie, Tyler. The schedule makers really cooked the schedule for the Thanksgiving games. Like you get again, Packers Rams Thanksgiving Eve. You get Bears Lions on Thanksgiving Day on CBS. You're gonna get the Eagles and the Cowboys at 4:30 on Fox, and then the nightcap is going to be Bills Chiefs. I thought this game was in Buffalo, but I guess it's
it's gonna be in Buffalo.
It's in Buffalo.
Yeah,
okay.
so
yeah, one of the people that put the schedule on Twitter from the Schedule League had it flipped. So it's Chiefs at Bills in Orchard Park, and then Black Friday, which has also now become a thing the last few years, on Prime at 3 p.m. Broncos, Steelers. That is a really good 5 games over the course of 3 days.
Yeah, no, these are all great, compelling matchups. Again, you got 2 divisional games there on Thanksgiving, and then anytime the Bills and the Chiefs get together, assuming Patrick Mahomes has returned to his normal self by then, that should be a really compelling game. By the way, that'll be at the Bills' new stadium. I don't think I've asked you your thoughts on them moving on and going to the new facility.
Yeah, it's tough that they're tearing down the old one, the Ralph Wilson Stadium. But I am a fan of the way the new stadium looks. I think it's going to be nice. It's going to be state of the art, and I'm excited to see what it looks like out there.
So again, no surprise the NFL loading things up on Thanksgiving. These past couple of years, the NFL has really tried to lay claim to Christmas Day. And I feel like this year they're doing a really good job of doing that once again, as we'll have Christmas Eve. That'll be typical Thursday night football with Houston at Philadelphia. But then Christmas Day, Green Bay at Chicago, Buffalo at Denver, Los Angeles at Seattle. This, to me, is telling me that the NFL is trying whatever it can to squash the NBA on Christmas Day like never before. Like, the Christmas has always belonged to the NBA to some degree from a sports realm. The NFL's like, we're going to do that now because they've proven no matter what day of the week it is, they can make it work. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. And they're going to continue to play these games on Christmas Day, make a boatload of money for it, and crush the NBA in ratings.
And I'll tell you what, man, the NBA better be pulling out all the stops for Christmas Day because they are screwed with the games that are going on here. Personally, as a Bills fan, I mentioned earlier, I'd talk about this. I like seeing the Bills play on Thanksgiving. I think that has been something. The Bills have had some really good games on Thanksgiving over the years. It's been a few years, I think, since they last played on the holiday. But nevertheless, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes playing on Thanksgiving is going to be really cool. And then Bills, Broncos in Denver, a rematch of that really good divisional round game last year. I think that could be a lot of fun. We'll see. But, man, this slate is crazy. Like, getting the Bears and Packers on Christmas Day is going to be really good. And then you get the Rams and Seahawks, which honestly gave us some of the best games last season. I am really looking forward to it. Like, the NBA is not going to be able to keep up with this slate. It's just there's just no competition here. Even if these games are all on Netflix, like, the ratings will outdraw whatever the NBA gets.
The NBA, and again, I think it's a foregone conclusion. It's going to be OKC and the Knicks playing in the NBA Finals coming up here in a couple weeks. They better be trying to schedule that rematch for Christmas Day. Like that's one of the only things that I think might be able to draw some attention away. Or assuming LeBron's still playing, him doing something on Christmas Day.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's the thing is that the Knicks are always on at noon on Christmas at MSG.
Yeah.
You have the Thunder go there, or do you? I mean, if the Thunder win the title again, they probably deserve to have a home game, right? And I don't know. I mean, LeBron, he's a staple on Christmas. As long as he's playing, he'll be, playing on Christmas. But man, it's it's going to be tough for the NBA to compete. And I almost feel bad for them, but at the same time, it's like the NFL is just taking advantage of the market that they have and the brand that they are. It is just, it's unbeatable. No one can overcome whatever the NFL decides to do.
Yeah, for sure. Given the fact that the Bills are playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas, how is Jack going to be on holidays knowing his team has to play those days?
Oh, dude. Well, I don't know. I don't know where we're doing Thanksgiving yet, because this will be the first year. I think I'm going to either have to go to my fiance's family for Thanksgiving, or I'll be with my family for Thanksgiving. I will have that game on regardless, but I don't know, man. Christmas is a different story. I have no idea what the plan's going to be then.
Now, has your fiance's family seen you at, like, the height of your sports fanaticism, I guess is the best word to describe?
Not full. They know I'm a big sports fan, but I don't think they've seen me in the wild as a big sports fan.
So let me throw a hypothetical scenario at you. Now, it is a late game, so I don't know how late your Thanksgiving festivities would be going with her family. But let's say you're at the in-laws' house. It's, late in the night there. Buffalo's got the ball, down 3 points, driving with under a minute to go, and like Josh Allen throws a pick and that ends the game. Like, are you losing your mind? Are you keeping it reserved? How are you reacting in front of your new family?
I don't know, man. If they really want my full self, they'll get my full self. It is nice. My future father-in-law is a Raiders fan, so I think he understands what frustration looks like at the NFL level. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it'll be pretty intense. Look, I get to see Caroline be pretty intense watching the Hurricanes all the time during a regular season game. So I'm sure watching the Bills very intently won't be that big of a deal.
Now, has she like adopted the Bills as her team since you adopted the Canes as your secondary team?
I don't know, actually. She doesn't really have an NFL team. I think she just kind of watches. She's kind of adopted the Yankees a little bit.
Okay.
No, not really. We haven't really had that discussion yet.
Well, once you guys get married, then that'll be kind of the next step in the process. Like, all right, got to indoctrinate her into the Bills Mafia.
Oh, absolutely. That'll have to be the next step here.
Yeah, you got to figure out how to put her through a table at some point. Be like, hey, it's part of the process.
I'm still down to do it if they win the Super Bowl. I'll do it on radio the next
listen,
day.
Buddy, if they win the Super Bowl, we're gonna have you do a lot of things in the studio for the Bills. That's for sure. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the hour. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri on your Friday here on The Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
This is Elijah Campbell from 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. If you run a diner, bakery, coffee shop, burger joint, pizza spot, or that hidden gem everybody should know about, how would you like to get the word out about your business without spending a dime? Well, we got you. All you have to do is text your name, your business, and your phone number to 803-404-6100, and we'll be in touch. There is no catch. We know times are tough, but we would love to help you out and your business.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Plenty of 90s nostalgia. The Simpsons, Jameis playing Pictionary. The 32 NFL schedule release videos had it all. A conspicuous lack of Rabel Rossini jokes from what I could see, but to the Giants, Bucks, Colts, and of course the Titans, a hearty thumbs up. To the Chiefs, a gold medal for Rob Riggle and Lisa Gilroy gagging on a Skyline chili-scented candle. And to everybody else, better luck next year. I'm Chris Mack.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a data analyst.
Hey, what model did you use for these quarterly projections?
Astrology. If Mercury's in retrograde, sales tank. If Venus is rising, we crush Q4.
You built our revenue forecast off horoscopes?
Yeah, the Zodiac never lies.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Memorial Day savings are happening at the Home Depot. Get up to an extra $1,000 off select top brand appliances like Frigidaire. Plus, get free delivery. Upgrade your kitchen with a fridge with an extra large ice capacity, a stone-baked pizza oven, or a dishwasher offering an extra fast 50-minute normal wash cycle. Save on appliances this Memorial Day at the Home Depot. Offer valid May 14th through June 3rd. U.S. only. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $998 or more. See store online for details.
Oh, yeah. The Extra Point with Tyler Head.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltru wrapping up hour number 2 here on your Friday on the Game. Again, more Gamecock baseball as they wrap up the regular season tonight with game number 2 against Vanderbilt. 7 o'clock first pitch, pregame coverage at 6:45 here on the Game. Then tomorrow, 2 o'clock first pitch, pregame coverage at 1:45 here on 107.5 The Game as well. I didn't ask Jack, are you the only person that's covering the team locally out there in Nashville?
That would be so.
Okay.
So hopefully everyone's locked into GamecockCentral.com if you want to follow along with some baseball coverage. I'm the one-stop shop out here.
I will say I appreciate your commitment to the craft because I don't know how I would feel having to go to Nashville to cover this team if I were you.
Oh man, hey, look, there's worse places to be to cover.
True. That's true. Yeah, well, unlike New Orleans, I hope you can at least get out and have some fun today before tonight's game.
Hopefully, man. We'll see. Yeah. It'll be a nice, fun weekend here, hopefully.
We did discover recently, remember, they do have In-N-Outs in the Nashville area now.
I know. I went there in March.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So I did go. I remembered that. I'm like, yeah, I do like myself some In-N-Out, and I did not get a shake last time. So maybe honestly, how do you feel about the fries? 'Cause I feel like the fries are kind of like they're pretty overrated, to be honest, man.
I've never had it. Still not had it yet.
That's right.
Well,
man.
So I looked it up, and because again, it was like this week last year, I believe, when I went to Nashville myself, because it was the same week that Carolina played LSU in the final, series of the regular season. And they weren't out there yet. So I missed the In-N-Out in Nashville by a couple of months. So we're definitely going to go back at some point. And when we do, I will make it a point to go there to experience it for myself.
Burgers are good. The fries are The shakes are pretty good. But, man, the burgers are definitely where it's at. So I might end up talking myself into going later today.
There you go. That'll be fun. Maybe go to the Grand Ole Opry and the Madame Tussauds House of Wax while you're out there, too. As far as the rest of this weekend goes, a lot of things going on. Of course, you got the NBA and NHL playoffs. Where are you pulling your future headline from?
man, this one's kind of just coming out of left field here, but let's see, man. Hey, it's time to get a little wacky. It's time for Jordan Spieth to complete the career Grand Slam. That's right. I said it. He finished second at the PGA Championship in 2015, during that year where he won the Masters, he won the U.S. Open. He's got the Open Championship from 2017. The only one he's missing is the PGA Championship as far as career majors go to complete the Grand Slam. Currently, he's tied for 11th at under 1, but the current leader right now, there's a lot of guys under 3, so he's only 2 strokes behind the leaderboard right now. He is teeing off at 105 today. He shot a 69 in round 1. If he keeps that going, I feel he's got a pretty good chance. Feel like he's been playing some better golf. I think he definitely could have a chance. So I think everyone wants to see him. Now that Rory's completed the career Grand Slam last year, I think him and Scotty are like the next guys on the list to go ahead and try and get it done with the anticipation of it. So give me Jordan Spieth to finally get it done this weekend.
Speaking of Rory, by the way, he tees off at 205. Had a pretty rough first round where he bogeyed on, let's see here, 6 of 7 straight holes between 7 and 10 yesterday, or excuse me, between 4 and 10 yesterday. So a rough first round for him. Currently tied for 97th after round number 1. Again, he's going to tee off later today at 205. Again, Scotty Scheffler among the group of those up there towards the top so far after one round of play so far. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out again. This is the first time that Scotty and Rory have been competing head-to-head together since the Masters a month ago, and we'll see if Rory can get himself back in the mix as the weekend rolls along.
Yeah, Scotty's tied for 28th right now. He's 3 over right now in round 2, so not great for his chances, but, we know how Scotty rolls. As long as he gets to
a lot of golf left to play.
As long as he makes the cut, he'll have a chance. So what do you got for this weekend, though?
Yeah, I'm going to go NBA playoffs here. Again, you have the 2 series with the Eastern semifinals with the Pistons and the Cavaliers, and the West semifinals with the Spurs and the Timberwolves going to game number 6. I think both those series end up ending tonight because of the momentum both of the leading teams have. The Cavs obviously came back from that deficit to win against the Pistons the other night in the overtime, and the Spurs obliterated the Timberwolves in game number 5 the other day. I think both of the leading teams have momentum here, and I think both of those series end up ending tonight.
Cavs can't lose in those throwback jerseys.
No.
So,
well, and
LeBron-era jerseys.
Here's the thing. But whoever ends up winning either one of these series, in the West, you're a sacrificial lamb to OKC, and in the East, you're a sacrificial lamb to the Knicks, because it just seems like those two teams are head and shoulders better than everybody else in their respective sides, and they're destined to meet in the finals coming up here soon.
I would say so. I would say that's probably going to be the case. I think OKC's is just a juggernaut right now. The Knicks, probably on the same accord, but we'll see, man. It's going to be looking forward to seeing how the rest of the weekend plays out.
Well, and then especially both those teams, considering the fact they swept their semifinal opponents, they're getting a lot of rest too. So they're going to be well rested by the time the conference finals roll around.
So no game 7s.
No game 7s. Unfortunately, no game 7s. I'm predicting no game 7s.
So no game 7s, and Jordan Spieth getting the career Grand Slam. I like these headlines, man.
We'll see what happens. Enjoy your weekend in Nashville. We'll talk to you on Monday, man.
All right, see you, buddy.
Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Coming up next as your Friday rolls along here on The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com. Songbird Festival is coming to Finley Park on Saturday and Sunday, May 30th and 31st, with 2 days of bluegrass, Americana, and Southern roots music in the heart of downtown Columbia. Catch Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, the infamous String Dusters, Future Birds, Blue Dogs, and the Bee Rights, featuring Mark Bryan and Sony Sonnenfeld of Hootie and the Blowfish. Songbird 26 also features local and regional favorites across 2 stages, plus food, drinks, and a full weekend of music in Finley Park. Get your tickets now at SongbirdCola.com. Gamecock Nation, it's getting hot in here. And at Gamecock Traditions, they're turning up the heat with 30% off sweats all May long. That's right, hoodies, crews, and more. Now 30% off. Whether you're gearing up for cool mornings, late night tailgates, or just repping the Cox in style, now is the time to stock up and save big. But hurry, this offer ends May 31st. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Gamecock Traditions. For Gamecocks, by Gamecocks.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for AAA Heating and Air. You know, every homeowner's dream is a house that cleans itself, right? Well, we might not be able to do that, but what if you could clean your air without lifting a finger, even when you're sleeping? AAA Heating and Air offers indoor air quality products that do just that. These products work with your HVAC system to improve your home's air quality. Cleaning the air eliminates common household odors, removes allergens and pollutants, and can even improve sleep and reduce the spread of some viruses. And remember, at AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Call today to schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment. Let AAA Heating and Air's qualified technicians put your mind at ease with a thorough inspection and cleaning of your heating and cooling system. Join their popular AAA Comfort Club to take advantage of extras like flexible visits, added discounts, and priority scheduling. Let AAA Heating and Air take your comfort to the next level. Call 803-677-1500 and schedule today.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
If you're tired of dealing with gas, noise, and costly maintenance, it's probably time to switch to steel battery power. Right now at Cato's Power Equipment, we have 65 steel battery tools like the GTA 40 hand pruner, the BGA 60 blower, and the KMA 135 Combi Power Head, each available with 2 free batteries for a limited time, giving you more runtime, less hassle, and up to $640 in instant savings. This deal is only available at Cato's Power Equipment, Columbia's home for the tools you need to maintain your turf. Visit CatosPowerEquipment.com.
The 2026 Gamecock football season will be here before you know it, which means it's never too early to secure your season tickets. From the roar of the crowd, to towels waving to Sandstorm, to the flashing lights after a Carolina touchdown, there's only one place to catch a game, and that's at Williams-Brice Stadium. The experiences you'll have here can't be matched by staying home, so make your plans today to join us in our home for the 2026 season. Visit thegamecockclub.com to check out the various ticket options available for this fall.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. Throws it! He throws it down! The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Tyler Head and Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central. Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
It's 11 o'clock on your Friday morning. Welcome in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler and Chris. Wes is coming, right? I was not told any differently.
I sent an update.
Huh?
He sent an update.
He sent an update, did he?
Yeah,
okay.
He'll be here. Working on some stuff. There's a new assistant basketball coach.
There is a new assistant basketball coach. Yes, Sam
working
Decker.
on some things.
Sam Decker joining Lamont Paris's staff. So, okay, I did not check my phone in that last break. I apologize. Wes will be here, so we'll give him grace for that.
Well, yeah, and you know, I mean, you admitted your error there, so
I did. No, I'm not afraid to it. Hey, listen, I own up to it. It happens. I can't. I try not to be on my phone during the show as much as I can, unless I know I have to contact somebody about something. So yeah, let that one slip through. But yeah, he'll be here. It's funny because in the last hour, again, this story of Sam Decker joining Lamont Paris' staff broke right at about an hour ago, and Jack and I were in the middle of doing our segment. I think we were talking about the CBS rankings that they had for all the college football teams, and I can tell when Jack has got something else that's kind of occupying his mind because he kind of zones in on that, and he's not going back and forth as much. And I was like, okay, something's happened. So we hit a break, and he's like, hey, sorry, man, breaking news. I'm like, I kind of figured.
Yeah, so I guess let's talk about it. It's, the most recent thing that's happened here in Gamecock country. And, Sam Decker's a name that people who followed, college basketball, NBA, you might recognize. He's young, 32 years old still, I think, and former big-time recruit. Like he was
a 5-star, right?
Sam Decker was a consensus 5-star prospect out of Wisconsin. Of course, played at Wisconsin, was there when Lamont Paris was on staff as an assistant, and then was a first-round NBA draft pick from the Houston Rockets. Can't talk this morning.
Houston Rockets is the name of a basketball team in a movie where they don't have the rights to the NBA stuff. So they have to be close, but not the actual name.
That's right. So spent a few years there, then Clippers, Cavs, Wizards. So he was in the NBA for several years, and then also spent some time overseas where he was really good. Won a Europe Cup championship, won a Finals MVP in one league. He was a second-team All-Euro Cup player in 2023. So had a really good career out in Europe, and obviously was a really good player at Wisconsin, too. One of the first team, by the way, that he spent time on was in Russia. Name of the team, Lokomotiv Kuban. I assume it is pronounced differently, but that's how I'm going to say it with my Belton, South Carolina accent. So, but yeah, and so obviously a guy that Lamont Paris has familiarity with, and I think a lot of people have been waiting on this last coaching spot. We kind of have some clarity on what the staff was going to look like. You have the hire of David Duquette in a role where he's going to be doing a bunch of different things behind the scenes. Not a coaching role, but kind of an administrative, recruiting, talent eval, whatever it may be, type of role. A lot of different things from our understanding. But people were waiting. Hey, when's this last coach going to be hired? And it's Sam Decker.
Yeah, and I said this to Jack in the last hour when we found out about this. Again, no prior head coaching experience. Of course, he's got the relationship with Lamont Paris from both of their days back there in Wisconsin. But I look at this as a guy that was a high-profile recruit, great college basketball player, eventual first-round pick in the NBA. That's somebody that, from like a mentoring standpoint, I think is really good to have on your staff. Again, he'll grow and hopefully progress as a coach and take on more responsibilities with that kind of stuff. But I think just purely, especially for a guy that quite literally just stepped off the court, like this guy's been playing internationally up until this year, so still very much in the game, up until this year. So he can still speak to these guys in a way that maybe some of the coaches that have been out of the game playing may not be able to in the same way. So I do think that's hopefully a plus. Again, we'll kind of find out what he is as a coach as time goes along, but I don't look at this as a bad, addition by any means.
Yeah, and one more interesting piece of trivia here, or a couple other things. Number one, you're right. Like this guy, he had just extended his contract last year and then terminated that contract, came back to the United States to get some injury treatment. So, he had been playing basketball up until very recently, again, just 32 years old. Also married to Olivia Harlan, who is the daughter of Kevin Harlan.
Oh,
fantastic announcer. Yes. So a little trivia there. But, I thought it was interesting, the USC release that had some thoughts from Lamont Paris on this, and we're all, I think going to be diving in, trying to learn more, about Sam Decker's role. You can go back and look. I mean, dude has a Wikipedia page. Like a lot of people know Sam Decker because if you've watched college basketball or professional basketball, but went to 2 Final Fours together when Lamont Paris was on staff there. Decker was on the Wisconsin team that knocked off a really good Kentucky team who had previously been unbeaten. We all remember that, I think. And so this is a guy that does not have coaching experience, but I think it's a fascinating move. He's just coming off the court, like you said, Tyler. And I thought interesting in the release, Lamont Paris said he's going to be focusing a lot on player development. Lamont Paris's quote, development of each player's individual abilities is as important now as it's ever been in college basketball, and talked about Sam Decker's unique experiences and skill set. So here's a guy that, has been around the game for a long time, but he's kind of walked that walk and done it very recently. Here's a guy who can say, I was a former 5-star. I played in Final Fours, multiple. I was a first-round pick in the NBA. I played there for a few years. I played overseas. I just finished playing, right? So you start thinking about, international scouting, international recruiting, which we're seeing that come into play more and more, I feel like, in college basketball. So there's some insights that he can come away with there. And then working with these players who are still young guys before they're going to professional basketball, again, not coaching experience, but what can he give you in terms of player development? And that's something that's been talked about a lot here with this program. So interesting move, I think.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, looking back on that 2015 Wisconsin team, of course, Sam Decker, Frank Kaminsky was on that team. Frank the Tank, led by Bo Ryan, of course, legendary Wisconsin coach. Lamont Paris, an assistant on that team. Greg Gard, the current Wisconsin head coach, also an assistant on that team. So a lot of notable names, from that team that did make it all the way to, all the way to the end there in the, NCAA tournament. And again, those experiences are something that I think a lot of players can gravitate to when you hear about, a guy from that standpoint of saying, hey, I've been there, I've done that, especially somebody that was a first-round pick in the NBA draft. Because, again, most guys go into college hoping they're going to further their careers and play professionally as well. Here's a guy that can speak to that and tell you, obviously, what his process is and hopefully help, get some of these guys there as well. And something else we talked about in the last hour, given the fact that he is coming fresh off the international scene, Lamont Paris, of course, is going to fill out the rest of his roster seemingly with international guys, as he mentioned a couple weeks ago at the Garden and Black road trip. Who those are, we don't exactly know right now, but a few more spots left to be filled. Here's a guy that also has connections to international players basically right now. So can that help you out in filling out the rest of your roster? We'll see, but that's something that's certainly can be looked at as a plus to this hire as well.
Sam Decker might be like, I just played against that guy.
Oh, yeah, get him. For sure.
Got to get him. I couldn't guard him.
He's 19 years old, and I couldn't stop him. Get him.
Yeah. So, and that has become more of a part of it. We're seeing guys that have been in, this isn't international, but G Leaguers coming over to college. We've seen internationals. That's always been part of it, but you're seeing more, not just guys who are high school age from, overseas, but you're seeing guys who are literally professionals because of all the changes in college sports have kind of paved the way for that. You're seeing more and more of that. So, I think, like you said, Tyler, this is someone who has walked the walk very recently. He was in college, 10, 11, 12 years ago. He's been in Final Fours. He's been there. And so I think his approach, being a 32-year-old who is literally just finishing his professional playing career, he's going to have a little bit of a different perspective than somebody who's like, not that there's anything wrong with this. Tons of great coaches but he's not 50, 60 years old, with the emphasis that they've tried to put on revamping this program and emphasis on player development. Is this something that will help the roster?
Wes, of course, you were getting that story up there for Gamecock Central. Your thoughts on this hire that's come out in the last hour?
Yeah, I think to Chris's point, you always want balance. And, I think you do want your staff to have some older guys, some experienced guys. And then I think not that recruiting is necessarily the same as it once was, but it does help to have some younger guys, some juice, some energy. This is somebody that, I was just looking at his social media following, and some people may roll their eyes at this, but it is 2026. So 160,000 followers on Instagram. You're not necessarily talking about a staff that is, at this point, incredibly active on social media. And so I think having someone who kind of just, to me, that speaks, and good, I didn't even see his Twitter X, 260,000 followers on there. So I think not even necessarily that because, A, you have a lot of followers, that means, B, you're going to be able to recruit well because of that specifically, but I think it speaks to your ability to connect with people. It speaks to your ability to grow a following in today's era. You know what I'm saying? So people aren't following you if you're not entertaining or if you don't have like a brand. And I think for me, that maybe just brings you a little extra excitement, a little extra juice. And, I think they have some guys on staff who are a little bit more in the category of, veteran. I've seen it all. I can provide that insight. I can provide the long-term connections. So to balance that out with somebody who, was just playing, who, played for Lamont at Wisconsin, who was a first-round pick and, can kind of connect with younger players, I think is important. And, I don't think they're done yet in terms of adding to this staff. So I think it'll be curious to see how they balance this thing out in terms of the next hire at that spot. But, I think whenever you have a guy you've coached, you're probably sitting there saying, hey, this guy might be a future coach. And, in this case, it was somebody that Lamont had, worked with firsthand, and now he gets the opportunity to work with one of his former players, which I think is always kind of cool.
Well, everybody has to get a coaching start somewhere. Now, a lot of guys' first coaching stop isn't, an SEC school, but again, he brings a lot to the table. And again, just basically stepping fresh off the court himself, having the experiences he did in college. And like you said, Wes, speaking the language of these guys and being more relatable to them as a younger coach compared to some of the other guys on the staff that hopefully will prove dividends as well. Again, a lot on the line this season, and hopefully this is a piece of that can help South Carolina get back to where they want to be as a basketball program. So we'll see. We'll dive into some other things happening in Gamecock sports, unfortunately, including what happened last night in game number 1 with baseball at Vanderbilt. Also buy or sell later on in the hour and talk some recruiting as well. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs on your Friday on the Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Since that win at Clemson by the Gamecocks, things haven't gone well. And when things don't go well, it's time to look back on the days when things were well. Yeah, let's spin back to the good old days on the Game Network.
The Gamecocks are making history in Cleveland. They'll be the 10th team, the 5th program to go undefeated and win the national championship. They will avenge their loss to Iowa from last year. The clock ticks down. 2 seconds to play. Celebration in Cleveland. Perfection wears garnet and black. Game over.
Gamecocks are in the Final Four.
Now that's some good feels right there. From 107.5 The Game and the Game Network. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Warning to all sports fans. If you're still using a sportsbook, you're getting robbed blind. Here are the facts. Sportsbooks skim your payout for profit. On a $100 position, they take around $9 just to let you play. It's theft in broad daylight. On that same $100 position, sportsbooks pay out $500. Polymarket pays $650. That's because Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sportsbook. You trade against other people, not the house. That means more money for you and less for those greedy sportsbooks. Even better, it's available in all 50 states. Polymarket is so confident you'll never go back to those thieving sportsbooks that they're giving you $20 free for your first trade. Just download Polymarket in the App Store and use promo code PAW20 to unlock your $20 free trade. That's promo code PAW20 for a free $20 trade. It's time to stop letting sportsbooks steal from you. Delete that app and join the millions using Polymarket. Download Polymarket and use code PAW20 for $20 free.
Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply.
BOGO is back at iMart Express.
Come on. Okay.
Right now, for a limited time only, new customers can buy their first pair of glasses and get a second pair free. Plus, with eye exams available and same-day glasses, you'll never miss a moment. It's the kind of savings and service you can really get used to.
Come on.
Okay.
Find a location near you at imartexpress.com to shop our BOGO event today and see everything we have in store for you. iMart Express. Get glasses. Go see.
Elijah Campbell here from 107.5 The Game, and spring cleaning is in full swing. And if you're hosting graduation parties or family get-togethers, Zero Res can help you get your home ready. Get carpets cleaned for just $35 per room and stairs for only $35. 50% off the standard price, plus take $50 off air duct cleaning, all by mentioning 107.5 The Game. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, just a deeper clean that lasts longer. Appointments are filling fast. Visit ZeroResColumbia.com to book today.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/beat. That's ethos.com/beat. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Tyler Head, along with Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central. Sponsored by Firehouse Subs. Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
We've just been talking a lot about it. You know, we're just trying to really just push to the guys that, hey, every day come out and just give us your best. You know, that's all we can ask for. Just come out and give your best. We're going to give you our best as coaches. Give us your best as players. You know, our fans deserve it. The program deserves it. Just give your best. I know it's been hard. It's been really hard on all of us, but you know, we just got to keep coming out here and doing everything we can to play our best baseball and just keep competing.
Welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler West, Chris with you on your Friday here on the game. That, of course, Monty Lee talking last night after South Carolina falls in game number 1, 9-1 to Vanderbilt in the last series of the regular season. This extends their losing streak, unfortunately, to 10 games as we approach the end of the season. He did say he liked the effort better last night compared to what we saw the other day against Winthrop, so I guess that's a positive you can take out of it, but not a whole lot of other things to look at and spin positively. 4 hits, 11 strikeouts. Feel like we've heard those exact stats in a lot of games this year. Ant Phillips didn't get out of the second inning last night, and just all around tough night to get set to wrap up the regular season.
Yeah. All right. Transparency hour. How many pitches did y'all watch?
I watched the whole game.
Holy.
Well, you know, Tyler watched the game, the midweeker the other night.
The Winthrop game as well.
And had it. You know, he had split screen, like devoted a second screen to.
I have it on alongside the
first screen
game.
or the second screen.
Well, it's like split.
Oh, completely 50-50?
Yeah, like 50-50. So I'm watching both at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I know that, but I just I typically do a main screen and a second
iPad. All right, so main screen was the Braves and the Cubs, and then laptop was
so you weren't
this game.
50-50,
Well,
second screen.
I will say this. I was listening harder to what this game was.
But you were watching harder the Braves game.
Yes. So what? And here's what I do. Because
you didn't see good baseball.
Well, here's the thing. Because we come in here and talk about these games, I make notes on every at-bat. So I have to listen to what each at-bat is so I can make a note about it so I can go back and reference it when we talk about these games. So I'm listening to make sure I know what happens on every at-bat.
What?
To fill out my notes for the day.
You make a note on every single at-bat.
Every single at-bat.
No, you don't.
I do. You want me to send you the screenshot
please send that
of
to
last
me.
night's game? Sure. I'll
Yeah,
do that.
actually, you could start doing that every post baseball game. But wow, okay, good. All right, Tyler. Don't get me wrong. I knew Tyler was well informed, but that is
well informed and organized, and that takes it to the
that
next
is
level.
intense, man. And we don't have to cover baseball on Gamecock Central to the extent of like writing the game story. If you have to write the game story, you have to be a little bit more locked in for sure. But yeah, man, I don't even know what to say anymore about this other than reading Tyler's notes over the air. But the
the whole thing wouldn't fit in the screenshot, but there's what I can send to you.
Okay, I can't read and talk at the same time, so I'll talk first. But I really just don't know what to say about it anymore, boys. Who's the head coach going to be? I feel like is what South Carolina. It's where South Carolina fans are right now, and it is unfortunate, man. Like I try to not be a cynical person. Like there's a lot of just cynicism all over social media, all over the internet, all over real life, and I try not to be cynical, but it's just hard to really follow this thing right now. Certainly from an AB to AB standpoint, it's very hard to follow it, even game to game. Maybe you dial back in the SEC tournament just to see, but you hate to just ever write off a season when it's not actually over. But, I think most fans are just rightfully ready to see what is next.
They are. I mean, that's absolutely where things are. And the other unfortunate thing is we've been talking for a few games now to the extent that we're kind of really diving into the games about, I don't know, the team looks a little more listless. And, Monty Lee has been honest about that, I think, when he feels like they didn't compete as hard. Thing is, he apparently felt like and there's no reason for him to just say things at this point, like there's no reason. If you say, he's just saying that, there's no reason for that.
Yeah.
He's not trying to, quote unquote, save his job or, gaslight the fan base. He's been pretty honest about everything. What's been good to the extent that there's been any good, what's been bad, what does he see? And, he felt like they competed hard throughout this game. And what's your result? 9-1 loss, and once again, lamenting a lot of missed opportunities throughout the game, whether it's to get out of an inning, maybe break through. He referenced, the situation where you got the bases loaded and, you don't get anything out of it. Craddock's up to bat. That's kind of the way that the season's been. And so you're right. Like, there's going to be 2 more games in this series, and, we'll talk about a little bit about whatever happens in them, but I think Wes is 100% right. Most people are just kind of keeping an eye on it in terms of, did Carolina win or lose last night? Did they win or lose the series? But just really keeping their eye on, what's next. I mean, you look, all the conversation, you wish the conversation at this point was something like it used to be. Where's Carolina going in the regional? Are they hosting? Are they going to have to go on the road? What seed are they going to be? Instead, we're sitting here May 15th talking about who the next coach is going to be. That's just where it is. And so that's where people's minds have gone. If you go to Gamecock Central right now, you're going to see Griffin's one-on-one with Monty Lee that Jack went and got. Jack went and covered the program. We still got Jack and Tyler out here watching the entire game.
Jack is the only reporter on location,
making all the notes, and that's great. Like that's what we try to do with coverage. But what's going to get read more right now? I promise you, it's not the game story. It is the Kevin Schnall and South Carolina baseball job, why or why not piece, but that Jamie has on the front page.
By the way, it's good that softball's got the Diamond Sports being held up right now. Of course, they're getting set for their regional tonight, Cal State Fullerton at 7:30, ESPN Plus. Again, they've got a big weekend ahead of them. Hopefully they can advance out of the UCLA regional and get some revenge on the team that eliminated them a year ago. So there's your positive side of Diamond Sports for the Gamecocks that
are we going
you
to
can
talk
lock
about
into
that
this weekend.
later, or this is it for softball?
It's going to get brought up in buy or sell as well. But I just wanted to make mention of it since we've had to talk about the negative. We got the positive of softball as well.
Yeah. See what happens. 7:30 tonight, Eastern time.
Look forward to it.
You got to have Plus, though, from what I saw.
Yeah. Now, if you have Unlimited, does that include Plus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have ESPN Unlimited, you're good.
Is that what you're doing right now with the TV? Is that you got Unlimited?
Yeah, I'm actually Unlimited only. First time in my entire adult life that I haven't had like a cable satellite / TV streaming service. So,
okay.
So that's that.
Yeah.
Just watching the ESPN shows, and we actually have Paramount Plus as well, which gives you.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there.
It gives you CBS too. So.
Sure. There you go. Yeah, you got it covered. We'll talk some softball and buy or sell as well. Coming up next, it is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs on your Friday on the Game.
Wow, what a play! The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today by dialing pound 250 and use keyword QC Kinetics.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
Rhino Shield is backed by an extraordinary 25-year warranty with special financing available.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call at 833-RHINO-99. Call now and receive 15% off the regular price. Or go to RhinoShieldCarolina.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
Call now, 833-RHINO-99 for your 15% off. Or go to RhinoShieldCarolina.com.
I'm fixing to tell you something that the insurance industry does not want you to ever hear. Bullies often delay and deny. I see them sitting on premiums paid and making money and dragging it out for as long as they can. Many times, we're forced to take them to court. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Their high-paid lobbyists are on a mission to make sure that at trial, jurors are not allowed to learn that the at-fault party has insurance, and in some cases, lots of it. I can think of no case in all my years where there was no insurance for the at-fault party. So let's fight back. It's all these bullies understand. Tell everybody you know the truth. If you've been injured in a car crash or hurt at a store or business, visit forthepeople.com. We're here 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Joe Standifer, Esquire, 11915 Plaza Drive, Suite 301, Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, 29576.
Hey, this is Jen Jensen for CHW Cabinetry. My family is using CHW Cabinetry, and they are fantastic to work with. They make sure you're satisfied with every step of the process. Not only do their photorealistic renderings show exactly what your new space will look like, their job site guarantees everyone is on the same page, literally. Experience the CHW difference for yourself. Go to chwcabinetry.com to see more, or call them at 803-520-6837, and be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
Join us for the 3rd annual Get Your Rear in Gear 5K on Saturday, May 30th at Saluda Shoals Park. It's a day of fun for everyone with a Kids Fun Run, a timed 5K run, and a 5K walk. Enjoy live music, a kid zone, and explore the 25-foot inflatable walk through colon. Colon cancer patients and survivors register for free and visit the Survivor booth for a special gift. Register now and use code HOPE10 for $10 off your registration. Don't miss out. Get your rear in gear and support a great cause. Sponsored by WKTC TV.
Hendrick.
Why shop for a Chevy or GMC the way you always have when there's a better way? Shop the nation's #1 dealer group, Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. Thousands of car buyers across Columbia have switched to Hendrick for a larger selection, better pricing, and an easier buying experience. Plus, buy now but make no payments for 3 months. You don't have to shop the old way anymore. Experience the Hendrick difference.
With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Worn tires make it harder to stop safely, and these Columbia roads don't help either. At Wetzel's Automotive, we carry a full range of top brand tires to keep you safe in every season. As your local auto shop, you'll always get personal service, expert installation, and free rotations with every purchase. We make sure your tires are mounted, balanced, and aligned the right way so you drive with confidence. We'll take care of everything you need in one stop without the runaround you get at big box stores. Visit us at 2017 Augusta Road in West Columbia or online at wetzelsauto.com.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass, shepherdsglass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Tyler Head, along with Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central. Sponsored by Firehouse Subs. Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler Head, Wes Mitchell, Chris Clark along with you on your Friday. It is a very, very busy weekend across all sports, and we'll get to our buy or sell for the weekend right now. Buy or sell number one. We'll stick with softball that we were just talking about there at the end of that last segment. Buy or sell, the UCLA Regional will go all the way to a Game 7 to wrap up the weekend.
Oh. Game 7 would be the longest these things can go,
That
right?
is correct.
Okay.
So, again, it's double elimination. So when you lose twice, you're out. So that would be theoretically like if South Carolina and UCLA both played each other in game number 6, Carolina was 2-1, UCLA was, 2-0. Carolina beats UCLA, forces a Game 7 type thing.
I got you. And let me insert here, too. Man, the way these things are structured, going 2-0 gives you such an advantage statistically. And, it may sound dumb or obvious to be like, well, what's the key? Go 2-0. Well, yeah, obviously. But just the way this thing gets pushed against you in terms of what you have to do to fight your way back, in a weird way, like UCLA, man, they've been there. They're a championship level program. You have to bury them if you have an opportunity. Like that's one thing they've shown. Like to make this WWE thing continue, like they're like the Undertaker. Like they will pop up when you least expect it. So you have to bury them, man. And I think for South Carolina, I think it's very, very difficult to win this thing coming from the losers bracket because of how talented UCLA is, being at home, and their championship mentality. So if South Carolina's going to win it, I think they actually have to go ahead and do it in the shortest amount of games as possible. I don't know. Maybe we got a Game 7. I'm actually going to sell that, though.
Yeah, I'm going to sell, too. Kind of a play the odds type thing, right?
To be different, I'll be a contrarian. I think getting through this entire weekend, as we talked about, kind of the focus is on UCLA, but Cal State Fullerton, Cal Baptist, two very capable teams that obviously earned their way in. We talked about the other day, they're both towards the top of all the college softball in a couple of statistical categories there. It's not going to be easy, so I think everybody's going to be tested here, and I think with how good UCLA is, it's going to take probably beating them a couple times for Carolina to get out of this. So for the sake of to be a contrarian and for excitement purposes, I do think this does go to all 7 games this upcoming weekend. Sticking with softball, again, all the regionals starting later on today. I did the math. Since COVID, there's been an average of 3.5 host seeds eliminated in the opening round of the NCAA softball tournament per year. So you can buy the over or sell the under of 3.5 hosts eliminated this weekend.
So there's 16 hosts,
16
and then
hosts.
3.5 on average have not made it to the next round.
You had 4 eliminated
16.
last year.
Okay. Man, that's a very, very good question, Tyler. Let me buy that, because I do feel like there's a lot of parity in the sport, and now some part of me wanted to go against it because I feel like there's more parity, but like kind of among those top maybe 8 teams, as opposed to like one dominant team. It feels like there's maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 really, 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 really good teams. Can the rest of these other programs match that? I don't know, but I think because of NIL, like anything, you probably have some girls staying at schools where, maybe they wouldn't have otherwise, because they're putting all their sort of eggs into one basket. And, hey, let me keep this pitcher. Like, you look at Belmont. Like, they have one of the best pitchers in the entire country. She could have transferred and gone anywhere, and she stayed there. She'll give somebody a fit. So I think you're probably looking at maybe 4 or 5 upsets.
So that's a buy then. You're buying over 3.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna sell. Go a little against the grain. Yeah, I think more. Really, you kind of made the argument there, Wes. Among those top 8, not as parity in there, and that's kind of what I'll go with. So I'll sell.
I think, and again, I ran these numbers of the years since COVID, because, again, you didn't have a tournament back in 2020. That also, without the exception of 2021, coincides with NIL, where the talent is getting spread around a little bit more. And I don't know. I think you will see a fair share of upsets, if you want to call them that, when a 2 seed ends up winning it or whatever. So I'll buy as well. I think we're in for some chaos this upcoming weekend. Buy or sell number 3. The WNBA season is underway. A'ja Wilson the other night got her first double-double of the season as they took down Connecticut 98-69. The Aces did. She had 22 points and 11 rebounds. Buy or sell. They're playing Connecticut once again tonight. Buy or sell. A'ja Wilson will have another double-double to go back-to-back.
Buy. I mean, how am I going to, that's like another playing the odds, like the odds of A'ja Wilson having another double-double seem higher to me than not.
It was her first of the season.
Doesn't matter.
How many games have they played?
They have played 4 games so far.
Yeah, that'll catch it.
Pretty easy on that one.
Tyler?
I'll buy as well. Yeah, hard to go against quite literally the best women's basketball player in the entire world when it comes to that. All right, next buy or sell. Need a little bit of music for this one. Think you already know what time it is. If it'll play. There we go. All right, Friday Night SmackDown, Colonial Life Arena tonight. We got everybody hyped up when Trick was in studio the other day. He was all iced out and all white, including my headphones, which completed the look. That wasn't even planned, but it looked good.
That was perfect.
That was perfect.
Hey, you should have got him to sign those headphones. I thought about that after the fact.
I didn't even think about it. That would have been
pretty
great.
sweet.
My $10 Walmart headphones. For tonight, though, WWE SmackDown over at Colonial Life Arena. He did say it's going to be something cool, something special. The buy or sell, though, is will Trick Williams open the show? Would be the first person out when the show opens to really capture the crowd at its fever pitch.
Well, he's got to go first or last, right?
You would think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, do you build the anticipation throughout? Where's Trick? Or do you open it with a bang?
Tyler, what do you think? You're the expert on this stuff.
Yes.
I like the idea of opening the show. Now, he closed the show last week. So that you also got to factor that as well with his Gingerbread Man funeral, which was phenomenal.
Could it be both?
That's where my head was going.
So here's a possibility. He could open the show, because, again, he's United States champion, be challenged for his title, and then wrestle the last match of the night. So that is also possible as well.
Would that would still be a buy?
That would still be a buy because he would open the show.
All right, I think I'm going to buy that he opens the show. I do I think you're kind of onto something there. You started out, but then you create the anticipation as well of him, wrestling later on. So, yeah, I like that. I think you get him involved on both ends. So, by the way, Tyler, you didn't let me buy or sell on Asia.
Oh, I didn't? Sorry. I thought you did. What'd you say?
I'm actually going to go against y'all to be.
You're going to go against it?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm going to sell.
All right. Be a contrarian.
Long time Asia Wilson hater. Wes Mitchell. I won't post it on Twitter that you picked against her.
Well, there's going to be a forum post in minutes of Wes just hates Asia Wilson so much.
Yeah, doesn't believe in her. I think we're on the same wavelength. To go back to the trick question, I like the beginning and ending the show. Makes sense, Start with a bang, end it. Be perfect.
Now, you guys gonna be tuned in to see what happens?
I probably will not. I will record it and watch it later.
Okay.
But I
got to figure out how to watch it. I don't.
Oh, that's
like
right.
I said, I don't really watch the USA Network anymore. So
yeah, that's through NBC. So you can't get it on Peacock or anything like that.
You might have to borrow a login.
Yeah, you might have to borrow somebody's login and catch it secondhand or something like that. But should be fun.
You're going, right, Tyler?
I'm going. I'll be there, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not.
Are you in the lemon pepper stepper category?
See, when I bought my tickets 2 months ago, I did not know that was a thing. It's like, I believe it's going to be on the opposite side. So we're in if you're standing in the ring, we'd be in the far left corner. And I believe the lemon pepper stepper section is on the opposite side of that. So it'll be where the camera can see it from the hard cam side. So, but okay. I've seen a lot of people buying tickets for it, and it sounds like it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, apparently, I think you can still get them, too.
Yeah, I believe so.
Lemon pepper is the code, right?
I believe so.
15% off.
Yeah, let me pull that back up from the other day.
And they're actually good. They're good seats. So.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the thing is Colonial Life Arena, for whatever you go to, has good seats no matter what.
Yeah, not like a bad seat.
Yeah, let's see. The code is lemon pepper stepper, or excuse me, just lemon pepper for 15% off for Ticketmaster. So,
good job on the questions, Tyler. You didn't invoke a challenge.
Well, that's the thing is you guys have the ability to challenge. Also, whenever you do that, I'm going to now give a pause like they do in Major League Baseball. Say Chris Clark is challenging said question, and it's going to be reviewed.
My head for the challenge.
Yeah, you know what? That's what you got to do. You got to tap your headset for the challenge.
Tap the mic
Within 3 seconds of me finishing asking the question, for it to be justified.
Okay. Hey, do y'all like the ABS?
I love it.
Yes,
I think it's great.
The crowd anticipation too, when that little graphic pops up, is that like it's worked. I think you still got purists that are probably like, this is not baseball, but I think for the most part it has definitely worked. Now, if you took somebody from 50 years ago and just pushed them forward in time and said, hey, this is MLB now, they'd be like, what am I watching? With pitch clock, the throw-over limits, all the different stuff about pitch like dynamics that they put in terms of vertical break, horizontal break, spin rate, exit, like all the different technology that is involved in it now. They would not know what game they were watching, but I actually think it's a better game now, believe it or not.
Bobby Cox could not be ejected 162 times in today's baseball,
but he would find a way.
He might find a way. Because he knew sometimes he wasn't right, but he stood up for his guys, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. We'll come back, wrap up the hour, and wrap up the week. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, presented by Firehouse Subs, on your Friday on the Game.
All my sports! The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Hey, this is Preston here from 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. If you run a diner, bakery, coffee shop, burger joint, pizza spot, or that hidden gym that everybody should know about, how would you like to get the word out about your business without spending a dime? Well, we got you. All you have to do is text your name, your business, your phone number to 803-404-6100, and we'll be in touch. There is no catch. Times are tough. but we're here to help you and your business.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. This isn't a regular season game against Dallas on a Tuesday in December. This isn't the first round against the Blazers. This is a Game 6 on the road against a team that's been to the Western Conference Finals each of the last 2 years. If Victor Wembanyama is going to continue to level up his big game resume, tonight's the night we see him impose his will and close out the T-Wolves. I'm Chris Mack.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I left the pizza box on top of my car before driving home. Not smart. Oh, and a semi just turned my deep dish into a thin crust.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-650-9944. 800-650-9944. Again, that's 800-650-9944. Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-650-9944. 800-650-9944. Again, that's 800-650-9944.
Central Takeover Hour with Tyler Head, along with Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central. Sponsored by Firehouse Subs. Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
Welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler West, Chris, wrapping up the hour and the week here on the game. Anybody fans of the Dave Matthews Band here?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen Dave a few times.
Fan. My brother, I think, is a big fan.
Okay. You guys aware they're playing at the True Lion Amphitheater in Charlotte tomorrow night?
I was.
I knew they were in Charlotte. Did not know it was called the True Lion Amphitheater.
Well,
is that a new name for the
Verizon Wireless Amphitheater, I believe.
Which was a new name for the...
Nope.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know.
I'm going to see 5 Seconds of Summer at True Lion in August. It's my gift to my wife for our anniversary. Big Five Sauce fan.
Happy pre-anniversary.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Happy post-anniversary.
Thank you. Anyways, I bring this up because the Ticket Fairy has blessed us with a pair of tickets to go see the Dave Matthews Band tomorrow night in Charlotte at True Lion Amphitheater for caller number 4 right now at 803-404 888-6100 while I answer those phones. Guys, we have a commitment, hopefully, coming later on this afternoon for Gamecock football.
Yep, we'll be tracking that. Chris Clark tells me at 3:30 p.m. Eastern at his high school, number 23 running back in the country, Braden Tyson, will potentially choose the Gamecocks. They are in his final 4. And Chris, fresh off an official visit to the Gamecocks, we talked about this at length on our podcast, but someone who, I think we actually thought, hey, there's some momentum here going into the OV, but then we wanted to see what would happen. Coming out of the OV, there was certainly momentum. And then it kind of went back to this question that we've been talking about kind of in a broad standpoint, but it specifically applies to Braden Tyson. What are the pros and cons of doing an early May OV as opposed to waiting until June? And the con is certainly that if a guy takes a bunch of officials in June, you don't want him to have forgotten about you by the time he decides. The pro is maybe you get ahead and maybe you set such a high standard that a prospect says, that's where I want to go. So in the case of Braden Tyson, he goes ahead, he cancels all these other OVs that were scheduled, which is something we were anticipating potentially happening. It did happen. And then Tyson sets a commitment for this afternoon. I think y'all can read between the lines on this one. And as we've reported quite a bit on Gamecock Central, South Carolina should feel good going into this weekend.
Yeah, this is someone that, his official visit at the beginning of May was, I think, his 3rd overall visit to Columbia. And going into it, we started hearing, some very positive vibes, almost to the point where you kind of got the sense of, okay, if this guy comes on campus with his family and things check out, you could very easily see him in the class and potentially see him in the class pretty soon. And, it doesn't always play out that way, but that is how it played out this time. His father, he's got SEC bloodlines. His father, D'Angelo Tyson, played for Tyler's Georgia Bulldogs. There's your mention for the day. Actually, in, I think, 2008 to 2011. I actually remember him playing. Solid player for sure. And you look back at this recruitment, Wes, we know Carolina wants to take 2 backs. There's been kind of some ebbs and flows, I think, in running back recruiting. Tyson's been on the radar he's one of those guys who's been on the radar for 3 years. They offered him in 2023 in May, so he's been through 2 running backs coaches. He's been through, 3 offensive coordinators that have recruited him at South Carolina. But, so it's been maybe up and down a little bit, but over the past, few months, things really, really got solidified with South Carolina. And I think this would be a really good get as one of your 2 backs. 6 foot, 6'1", 215 pounds, plays 6A football in Georgia at Brookwood. That's the same place that produced Kenny Miles, former Gamecock running back. 2,200 yards as a sophomore, I think 1,200 yards last year. So he's been super productive, and I think it would be a really good get for them.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I think to break through potentially in terms of high school recruiting at this position, which we thought momentarily that they had last year, Chris, but then the kid flipped back to Florida State. And so this is an opportunity here for Carolina to kind of start to replenish that position without it always involving the transfer portal. And also it is halfway to them hitting their goal, which is to get 2 running backs in this class. So I think that not only fills a need, fills a role for you that you wanted to fill, but also lets you be a little bit more selective in how you approach this position moving forward now that you've knocked out 1 spot.
Again, that commitment coming today at 3:30. And again, you can lock in on Gamecock Central all day long for coverage of that. And hopefully we'll be talking about another addition to the 2027 class come Monday. That'll do it for the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Halftime show, myself and Bill Gunner coming up next as your Friday rolls along here in the game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
All right, y'all, as we close out the program, let's tell you about Integrated Media, as we do every day. IntegratedMediaInc.com, Michael, Nathan, their team, they've been to my home and Wes's home. Let them come out to yours for any of your tech or AV needs. You can see some examples of their past work. If you're wondering what they do, I can tell you, sure, and I will, but you can also look. Integrated Media Columbia on Instagram or Facebook is where you can go to check out some examples, real examples of their past work. Everything from something as simple as, hey, I need a new TV, I don't have time to mount it, don't know how to mount it, to complete smart home systems where you can control that device, plus your lights, devices, thermostat, even security and cameras from the touch of a button on your smartphone or tablet. If you've been thinking about that man cave or that outdoor space, great time to do it here in May or into the summer. They can do that for you too. 803-948-8327 or IntegratedMediaInc.com, one-stop shop for all your tech needs.
If you're tired of dealing with gas, noise, and costly maintenance, it's probably time to switch to Steel battery power. Right now at Cato's Power Equipment, we have 65 Steel battery tools like the GTA 40 hand pruner, the BGA 60 blower, and the KMA 135 Combi power head, each available with 2 free batteries for a limited time, giving you more runtime, less hassle, and up to $640 in instant savings. This deal is only available at Cato's Power Equipment, Columbia's home for the tools you need to maintain your turf. Visit CatosPowerEquipment.com.
If you are looking for a local, reliable, and family-owned HVAC service right here in the Midlands, you can trust our friends over at Krantz Cooling and Heating since 1983. They've been taking care of residents and businesses right here in the Midlands. Krantz Cooling, that's K-R-A-N-T-Z, cooling with a K, KrantzCooling.com, or 803-672-3224. You can schedule a visit online and get more information at KrantzCooling.com.
Everyone needs to have at least one person in their corner in life. When you don't, it's an extremely lonely and frightening place to be. But knowing you have that one person gives you peace and hope. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Since 1988, myself and my firm have been in so many corners for so many clients for so many years. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason, and it's not even close. We fought like hell for you. We fight the bullies, automobile insurance companies, the makers of unsafe products, medical providers who injured or killed their own patients. It has been such an honor and made my life complete. If you ever need us, it's easy. On your mobile device or computer, visit forthepeople.com, and then we get to work 24/7. Whether you're hurt in a car crash, injured on the job, or have questions about your Social Security, we're here for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Joe Sandifer, Esquire, 11915 Plaza Drive, Suite 301, Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, 29576.
Elijah Campbell here from 107.5 The Game, and spring cleaning is in full swing. And if you're hosting graduation parties or family get-togethers, Zerorez can help you get your home ready. Get carpets cleaned for just $35 per room and stairs for only $35, 50% off the standard price, plus take $50 off air duct cleaning, all by mentioning 107.5 The Game. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, just a deeper clean that lasts longer. Appointments are filling fast. Visit ZerorezColumbia.com to book today.
Looking for a truck dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, your truck headquarters, proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're after a brand new Silverado, a tough pre-owned truck, or expert service, you'll find it all right here with a huge selection and the best truck deals around. There's no better place to shop. Visit HerndonChevy.com or stop by today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter.